All right, you people, happy Friday again. Here I am, as usual, totally unprepared. So I hope somebody out there is watching. Well, zero viewers right now, so guess I should give it a chance. But anyway, it's been a long week. 4th of July was good. As usual, totally unprepared. And as usual, I didn't mute my YouTube. Watching. Don't forget to do that when you sign on so we don't have an echo in the background. But Monday night we canceled the show because a spontaneous party broke out at my house, and it was just too much fun to deny. So we sent out a message to everybody. Hope you understood that. And we're back. It was a pretty good week. Kind of seemed kind of a short week, being broken up with a holiday. Makes me have a hard time remembering what day it is sometimes when my wife's home from work on unusual days. But anyway, hope y'all had a good week. Good 4th of July. My buddy Wayne does fireworks, so he was traveling this weekend going to do some big shows. They do them off a barge down in Charleston, South Carolina, and out of the rivers, I think, and area communities in that vicinity. And big fun. He sends me pictures of their setup, and it looks like enough munitions to start a war with. Just rows and rows and stacks of mortars. It's incredible. But anyway, the 4th is behind us now, so we've got the official summer started, I guess. It just got to 100 degrees, unusually for the first time in Columbia this year, and it's usually the second or third week of June where we string together 5 or 6 days of 100 degrees. Hey, Frank.
Hey, how's it going, Rusty?
Pretty good. How you doing tonight, bud?
Pretty good. I'm getting set up here.
Let's see. We got somebody else. Oh, I see Charles is checking in too. You with us,
Hey,
Charles?
I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I got your email right as I was setting up. So was just getting ready for you. And I got my phone back online, and in case anybody got my message on Facebook and my email yesterday, my cell phone bricked out completely. I didn't know it. I talked to my mom on the phone about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and I didn't touch it again until I pulled it out of my pocket about 3:30, and it was dead. It wouldn't light up except for if I pulled the battery out and put it back in, I could get the LG logo to pop up for about 10 seconds, and then it would die again. And so I took an old Windows phone down to the Verizon store today and got it reactivated.
Oh, very good.
So I feel like I've stepped back into the stone age of smartphones now. The Windows phone is kind of simple. It won't even run the banking application I use. That's one of the apps I like the best about cell phone is being able to do banking on your cell phone, you know. But anyway, it's only about 6 weeks until the contract is up, and we can go get great new deals, hopefully free on new phones.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm back in the high tech world again temporarily with the old phone.
Hey, guys.
So
Hey, Sparky.
what'd y'all do for the 4th of July?
I went to Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Visited with Mom and Dad.
Do they still make motors and stuff in Dayton?
Yeah, I think so.
I assume that's where the Dayton Motor Company was. Oh, Lord, we got a thunderstorm coming, people. If I suddenly disappear and this goes dead, it'll be because we got boomed out. We've been getting them in the evenings since the weather's been so hot.
All right. Hey, how'd your twister work out on your remaiden flight?
Well, the plane flies good. It was flying tip low upright and tip high inverted. So a couple of flap tweaks and we got the wings level, and there didn't seem to be any other real trimming needed. I'd been rushing all week to get that thing back together and ready to fly Sunday, and the last time I put in mounting the engine stripped out the T-nut, which is buried deep, on that twister. I've got a 2-inch wide nose with tripplers, and the motor mounts are buried deep within all of that.
Oh,
And
man.
so I managed to thread that T-nut with a 540 tap and get a 540 screw in there, and before I could get it real tight, I started turning the T-nut, but it was tight enough. Three nuts plenty tight and one nut almost tight enough. We got several maiden flights out of it, and it flew well. You could tell by the last flight that the engine wasn't happy anymore. So as soon as I got it home, the first thing I did was yank the engine out and bored that hole out and ran a brass threaded insert down in there, and also stacked a piece of brass tube on top of it to help the bolt, or to help it bear some of the pulling force from the bolt pulling on it. So I think it's in there for life. I don't think that brass insert is going to come out. And I've got the letters and numbers on it now, which were not on there when I maidened it on Sunday. But it's starting to look like the old Taz again. But it's good. My hip was hurting me so bad I couldn't fly it. Wayne flew it. And I just watched it and watched the wings and did the tweaking on it. So I think spending all that time in the shop on the concrete floor had flared that hip up. It just goes out sometimes. So I'm hoping it'll clear up and I can go back to flying soon. So stuff like that happens when you get old like me, I guess. One day it's the pain of the day. You never know what it's going to be one day, and then it's like it never happened, and something else replaces it. So the mystery pain train.
Hey, Sparky, back in Dayton.
Yeah,
I just missed you.
I've been here.
Were you there over the 4th?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going to be there or not. I was there till 5th.
Should have called me. I got keys to the field.
Oh, man.
I apologize for ditching y'all Monday night, but we had a spontaneous party break out at my house, and so it was too fun to ignore.
I took Dad to the Air Force Museum.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. There's a plaque displayed in there that my dad painted. It's right underneath the B-52.
All right.
Wow.
There's Tom.
Hey, Tom.
It's real light out here.
Hi.
There he is.
Hey, dude. Oh, man, it's daylight where you are. Already dark here.
Yeah, actually, it's really nice right now. The air is cool. It's not so hot. And
I see the bastards right there with you.
yeah, sure do. Yeah, I had some issues with it today, and Sparky got back with me. Thanks for getting back with me on that.
No problem.
I couldn't get a hold of that Duplicolor, so I couldn't go anywhere to leave my house today. So I went ahead and I just went to the. I got a paint cabinet, and I just got my old Binks siphon gun and quart container, and I filled it up, and man, I finally had that clear coat come out. I mean, it came out just like I only used that gun to clear coat vehicles or equipment with anyway, and it worked. But I've got a couple milky splotches on it, but with my weathering, it looks like it's oxidized.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It probably looks natural.
Yeah, so it's not really too bad, but I added another ounce to it I test flew it yesterday for the first time. I don't know if you see that muffler right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I run these OSs, and we run a little bit more phenol castor oil in our gallons. That helps us get the 4.2 run and keeps them cool. And
Right.
I had a tongue muffler on it yesterday, and my engine didn't perform. I had engine running problem. And come to find out, I was like, what is wrong with this engine? Couldn't figure. And I said, it acts like a freaking air leak somewhere. Sure enough, there's a pinhole that just come up all of a sudden through a solder joint.
Yeah. They're famous for doing that.
Yeah, so I got that fixed today. And then this time I pressurized it and put it underwater. So I'm good to go now.
Right.
Right.
I added, it was 40.4, and I added exactly 2 ounces more. So it's 42.4.
I love those OS. That's a OS 762 muffler, and it's 761, 762. I usually grind off the stinger and open it up to about 3/8, and I've even thinned them down to eggshell thin, and I run those on several of my planes.
Yeah.
Guess what's on the twister right now, as a matter of fact.
And I was able to, my paint job here isn't right. It isn't to the specifications, that it needs to be. But yeah, I wiped it all down with alcohol because I flew it yesterday, and I put another clear coat on it today. Yeah, it's a lot better. Anyway, It's super light, and that's all I wanted. And it's strong. I just wanted something to get me through a year or two. Competition, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Has anybody ever tried getting some black RIT dye and dyeing those APC props black? I was thinking of doing that. I hadn't tried it though.
I've done it.
Did it work pretty good?
Yeah, it worked good.
Gets a nice even black coat on it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's mine is not as black as I'd like it to be, but it's a black, but it's not the blackest black.
Well, it's not that gray. Anything's better than
Not
that.
gray at all. Yeah. Matter of fact, you don't even think it's an APC prop. It looks like something else. So
Yeah.
it's good.
I think I'm going to try that because I like the way the APC props run on most of my planes, but I hate the way they look.
Yeah. I hate the way. Go ahead.
I don't like the way they look in the spinner. You always gotta mess with every spinner you buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're sharp too. You gotta sand the edges on.
Yes.
You know what? My favorite plastic spinner are the Great Plains 2-inch spinners, and they've got it's a good looking. The colors are richer than those Dubros, and the back plate is aluminum, shiny polished aluminum, so that looks great. But they've got a line drawn around the inside that you can follow with your X-Acto blade, and if you just follow that line around and carve it out, it fits the APC prop perfectly. It's like that's what they put that line in there for. It's a raised ridge on the inside of the cone. But that's Great Plains 2-inch spinners.
I've
And
seen
the
them.
colors are really rich. The red is beautiful red.
I've always admired those spinners. I just never bought one.
On the same page at Omni Models, at eBay's Omni Models store, they sell the Dave Brown aluminum 2-inch spinners, and you got to get an adapter, but they fit the APC prop perfectly too. I don't remember if I had to file any. I think I had to take a file and just nip a little bit all the way around it, but it wasn't any trouble at all. So those are nice. A little heavier.
Yeah.
What you working at, Frank?
I'm generating some ribs for this ultimate biplane. I got
Are
a
you
lot.
generating the ribs for your XL?
I did, and I tried to mold my leading edge using 3/32 balsa, and I ended up snapping it in the middle. I don't understand why. I soaked it for a half an hour in
You're
super
using
hot
the wrong
water.
grain of wood.
Huh?
You're using the wrong grain of wood. You're using egg grain.
I must have done something wrong. It pissed me off, so I set it aside for now.
What grain of wood?
He's using egg grain. That's why it snapped.
A grain. What? Can you tell by looking at it?
Oh yeah. If you search on the web for balsa, the balsa density and balsa
Balsa
grade, they'll show you what you need. It's sea grain. It's really bendy. all the grain runs lengthwise. It's got checks in it. It's gonna break.
I got a mold around this.
What's that for?
That's for that ultimate biplane. It's got a super sharp leading edge. I'm using 1/16. I got some real bendy stuff.
I've been studying the plans for my new Cardinal, sitting back there behind my chair.
I see the box.
Yeah.
I'm looking
very
forward to that. It's got a little bit different wing than I've ever built before, but I don't see it to be any kind of a problem.
They got a built-up fuselage.
No, it's a lot like the Twister fuselage. Well, I take that back. It's one solid sheet. I could either use the one solid half-inch sheet or laminate two together like my Twister is, and I'll have to look at it closer and see. I'd rather have a laminated fuselage with some carbon veil in between, but we'll see what it looks like when I get to building it. But I got to clean the shop up and level the glass and building glass and get retooled and ready to build. So I've just been reading the book and looking at the plans. And I got a good post on Stunt Hanger from a guy that was warning me about a few things to watch out for in the book and on the plans. Like, for instance, when I tape the wing sections together, I need to draw my own straight line along the lead edge because the plans won't come out straight if you tape them together the way they're marked. So I'll look out for things like that. But, you know, I got a good long straight edge. I got a piece of angle aluminum that I use for long straight edges like that. Even got sandpaper down one side of it. That works pretty well.
Here's the train.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, just tooted his horn a little bit.
Where are you at, Tom?
What's that?
What city are you in?
Avon, Illinois. Galesburg, Illinois. That's the nearest city to me. It's about 35 minutes away. And it's got a real large, super large railroad hub there. People
I'm just wondering because it's so light there. It must be really light in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Is that your bass boat in the background?
No, that's my neighbor's. My computer's facing the west, so it's capturing that sun.
Sunset.
That's probably why it's so bright. It's going right into my camera. Now I got like little bugs coming in to the screen.
Well, you need to get you one of them fly swatters like I got, electronic fly swatters.
Yeah.
I've been chasing wasps around with that thing in the carport. It makes a hell of a pop when you hit one too. It'll smoke them.
Hey, do it. Let's. I heard something about you messing with one or something like that. Let's see that.
Okay, hang on just a second.
Tell me what you were doing.
I'm not going to reproduce what I did that Friday night. That was a couple of weeks ago.
Well, that ain't no fun.
Did you pee on it?
Tongue on it.
Oh gosh.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Works pretty good. And it'll hold a charge for a minute too, because if I stick my pinky in there after I turn the light out, it'll still shock me. But it makes a hell of a pop, and
Let's hear it.
it'll flat smoke a house flat. You'll never find him after you hit him with it.
Works good on cats too.
Yeah, especially if you get him on the tip of the tail. Wow. I hadn't tried it on my cats.
I bet you that cat really scoots out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll take off.
Oh yeah, you just pick it up and it's gone.
Smart cat.
What about you, Charles? You been flying any lately?
A little bit. I flew on the 4th actually. Yeah, I flew a top flight score, and I flew a combat plane. So I had fun.
We're only a week away from the Nats.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. I see Minnesota Mike and R.W. Bishop are out there watching us. Hey, guys. Our Bishop says he can only hang around a few minutes. Minnesota Mike's in North Dakota. His stepdad passed away. That's bad. Sorry about that, Mike.
Sorry to hear about that.
I'll tell you what was a shocker is that Brian passing away.
Was who passing away?
Brian, James Mills' brother-in-law.
I don't know. I'm sorry to hear about that too.
53 years old, and he just up and. I mean, I gotta ask James what's going on. I mean, you just don't up and die at 53.
Yeah, that's sad.
I don't know him, but it's bad that anyone passes away like that.
I guess, you can be walking around with some hidden problems that you don't know, and they just slap you down. That's sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother-in-law just got home from the hospital today from having a brain tumor removed, so that's my bad news.
Hey,
But
is it
we're gonna go visit him tomorrow. He's home now, so they kicked him out of the hospital in a flat hurry though, so I guess that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the reasons I went to Dayton is Dad was diagnosed with lung cancer.
Jeez.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
They found a mass in his left upper lobe size of a hockey puck.
John
Is he-
Sutherland's gonna pass away. That's unreal.
Yep. Plus for every day, I wake up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've been hit hard enough to realize to appreciate every minute I can.
Oh, yeah.
Smoke all the cigarettes I can while I'm at it too.
Yeah, I need to quit.
Yeah, I've been needing to quit. I quit every night about midnight or so.
Hi, Mr. Hines.
Hey there.
Oh, hey man, what's going on, Steve?
Not too bad.
Hey, what's up?
Speaking of
I was
smokers,
talking to a guy yesterday. He was talking about Social Security not being there when he retired and stuff like that. And I said, that's why I smoke, because I don't want to outlive my money.
yeah, that might work.
Yeah. Well, you and Samantha ready for?
Getting there.
Airplane ready?
I'm hoping we test fly it tomorrow.
We're looking at the ceiling.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I hope it-
back and I
that's
think
better.
you kick
I
back
can't
in
see
that
myself.
Down some more. We're still looking at the ceiling, so there you go.
Yeah, we're hoping that it's ready to go tomorrow. Here in a little bit, we're gonna go put the engine final. It's all been fitted and in and out. But we're putting everything together. So we went out and fly our other airplane tonight. so windy that we kept getting gusts like 30 miles an hour, and it would die down to nothing, and then all of a sudden there'd be just a big gust. It's been crummy weather here.
Well, you want to hear the forecast for the gnats?
Yeah, what's that? Wind and more wind?
6 to 26.
Wow.
6 to 26 miles an hour?
Yep. We're looking at the ceiling again. There you go.
6 and 26, that's a hell of a spread.
Hey, I'm not the weatherman. I'm just reporting what they said.
Reporting it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be pit boss for old time. I don't know about classic. Never did it before, but I guess I can put a scale on the thing and pull an airplane and stuff.
I'm going to judge appearance for classic.
Oh, okay.
Frank, are you cutting one rib at a time?
Yeah. Well, Bob Hunt gave me this. I'll show you. This template. You
Yeah.
put it in the
Oh,
balsa wood.
Uh-huh.
Put it in the balsa wood in some foam, and you can cut right around that plywood. I know you guys like to stack sand. I haven't never done that.
Whatever works for you.
You been getting any flying in, Sparky, down there?
Tuesday was I flew. Going to fly tomorrow if it's not raining or windy.
Yeah, I think Ohio, Indiana, and Ohio's had worse weather than we got here. So much rain.
It rained so hard today at work. The street, it was really strange. The street was a foot deep in front of the building. Where I'm working, it's on a downslope, and the whole paint booth filled up with water.
Oh,
And
geez.
the river comes through the shop and empties out the front driveway into the street. And
Yeah, tornado.
they pump it out. Yeah, and it was terrible. And then it stopped raining, and 10 minutes later it was dry. I mean,
Oh, it's good. Well, that's one way to keep the dust down, isn't it?
unbelievable.
Yeah, Mom and Dad said you guys had tornado warnings.
It blew through a little bit.
We had a little hail yesterday afternoon. We got 3/4 of an inch in about 45 minutes. That was a pretty severe storm for a little bit, but it didn't last long. But I hadn't heard any more thunder since I heard that boom here a few minutes ago, so maybe it's going away.
Yeah, we had one hit here about 2 o'clock this morning, and one person died. All kinds of power outages and stuff like that. This huge tree hit his house. He was sleeping in his bedroom, and
Oh my.
yeah.
Looks like
That's
Ken
sad.
Colbert's on with us. Hey, Ken. He's on the YouTube side.
Man, that's awful to have a tree come through your house like that.
Post the link over there so they can join.
It's at the top of the stack. It's only 4 posts, including mine, so when it fills up, I'll post another one.
Yeah, you did pretty good this time. You posted that immediately.
The only thing, yeah, I finally figured out I can do all of the link posting before I activate the video. But, and I finally, the only thing I haven't gotten to Hangout yet is remembering to turn the damn YouTube feed off before I start the video. And then I always hear myself, delayed by about 5
At
seconds.
least you have someone to talk to before we come on.
Yeah, as long as I don't get into an argument.
Oh yeah, that could be bad.
You staying in the motorhome down at Nats, Sparky?
No, I'm going to be staying in a motel room with Steve Smith.
Oh, okay.
And Jerry, he only lives like 40 minutes away from the Nats, so he'll just drive home every night.
Oh, no kidding. That's a damn pretty good drive. You know, pilot's meeting at what 8:30. So he'd only by 7:30. Ain't too bad, I guess.
He can make it there in less than an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's really just straight across, isn't it?
He lives right on the Ohio border. I mean, Indiana border.
Oh,
He doesn't live in Dayton.
yeah, because that's about a straight shot on the highway over to Muncie, isn't it? Or coming back
No, that's
in Anderson.
no 70. You got to go to 70 to 35 north to hit for Muncie, from where I'm at. From where he's at, he's got the back roads, and he just shoots right straight across.
Oh, okay.
He comes in the backside of town by the flying circle, which I'm going to be utilizing this year.
Yeah.
A place to practice in secret. Of course, I don't know how secret it is. I'm sure there's other guys that go over there.
Where's this flying circle at?
In northeast Muncie.
Oh, at their field there.
Yeah.
Ken Colbert asks, where can I get a new 61 engine nowadays? What a new 61 engine? What brand or what kind of 61 you want, Ken?
Be right back.
Probably looking for a PA. There is none.
Maybe. We'll see
PA
when
out
it
of
posts
business.
up.
Randy hasn't made any 61s in a while. Long time.
Yeah.
I want to know, I saw that Enya 61 on there. Has anybody used that motor? It looks pretty cool.
It'll pull a 77-ounce Katana around with no problem.
Rear exhaust motor?
Yep. Yeah, it's just too much for Samantha though. I think I got it sold already. I picked that one I picked up at Brodak. Said it weighed 67 with the engine. It weighed 77 with the engine.
Ken says he's not picky about what kind. He just needs a 61.
You can get a Stalker 61, but I don't like the run on them myself.
Is that Tom Dixon sell those? Is that one of the stalkers he sells?
But
Okay.
Dick there that flies with us, he just put a Stalker 51 in a Legacy 60. Turns a 13.6 top. It pulls that airplane around like nothing. It really has the 51s. I think got more power than the 61.
Mm. I just posted Tom Dixon made.
What was that?
I'll stay with my super tigers.
Yeah. If you can get them, you know.
No, you can get them all day long. All I got to do is go on eBay.
Every time I go on there, the things are going for like $250, and I click, and I'm like, I ain't paying that much.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it helps if you search off category and just look through and just search for a generic model airplane engine, because people will be selling things that they don't really know what they are, and you can get better deals if you find them like that.
My flying buddy's good at doing that. He always finds them kind of deals on eBay. He always shows me every time I go to his shop, and I'm like, where in the hell did you get that?
Yeah.
He goes, I got it off eBay.
My Cox engine for them, buddy.
They can be got for $50 because I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, if you can get them. That's like Dick. How he gets these damn LA 46s, but he finds them in off places. The last one he got for like $42. You see other ones on there for $150.
Yeah,
I did finally get an engine. I thought it was a good deal, and I bought it, and I got it home. And there's a chunk missing out of the side of the piston.
Ah, man.
Some of the thrift stores sell online too. You can go to their own store sites and they have auctions. I'm trying to think of the one down the street from my house. It's a well-known thrift store, but for the life of me, it won't come off of my tongue right now.
Goodwill.
Goodwill, yeah.
Oh, he can still get a Rojet 61. Brett Bucks runs good.
Hey, my buddy's got a road jet on his, he put it on that Caprice that he built this past winter. And he flew it for the first time yesterday. Man, that road jet really sounded nice. Right off the bat, we was turning 5.2 laps with it.
It depends if you want a prop, what size you want. I guess that 67 without a pipe, around a 13-inch prop pretty well. The 75 that I got, you really got to put a 14-inch prop. I don't got any ground clearance. I don't know. I hate to get the damn airplane up that high up off the ground, then it takes off like crap.
What 75 do you have?
The Rojet 75. It runs really good. It just needs I can't, load it hard enough. I thought about trying like a 13.7. I got a 13.7 rev up. Thought about trying that, see if that would, load it a little bit more. And then probably the speed will be too fast.
You have to run longer lines.
Yeah.
It's starting to get dark now.
Yeah, it is. I can see it.
Yeah, I can tell too.
Yeah, the light off my screen is lightening me and my plane up a little bit now.
Yeah, that big red nose looks kind of Rudolphy back there.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about painting it, and I was like,
No, I like the red nose. Get that, dye that propeller black, and it'll look really good.
Yeah, I had to, for static, I have one that's black and a 3-blade,
Yeah.
But, nope, I put something that's super strong light and it's going to fly really good. Not like a lead anchor flying around.
Sparky, do you ever use nitrate dope?
I never use nitrate.
What's the difference between nitrate and butyrate?
Nitrate's not fuel proof. It's a little more sticky. They use it on real airplanes to attach covering.
Does it shrink?
No.
Does all butyrate shrink, or is there non-tautening and tautening butyrate?
There's non-tautening.
There is. Okay.
That's what I sprayed today on this for clear coat. Guy gave me a gallon of it of non-tautening butyrate. I said, well, it's free. I just used it.
Have you got anything else on the front end of it besides dope, clear dope, or have you got any kind of urethane or anything to protect it from fuel?
On the nose?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, the last 3 airplanes that Samantha did, we got it's like a gator skin, and
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
You know why gator skin?
It's like I don't know, it's a crinkle coat.
Yeah. You know why it did that?
Incompatible with something.
You put lacquer over the top of enamel.
No,
Yeah.
it was all Randolph dope. But the only thing different is that on the last 3, and this one of Samantha didn't do it this time. I used nitrate to put it down, and there was a windy video that says he won't use nitrate because if you get it too hard with the clear or whatever, it'll gator skin on you, and that's why he doesn't use he didn't use carbon fiber because it wouldn't stick down with regular dope good. And it's like, damn, is that It didn't do it on this one, but I didn't use nitrate. But the other ones we did. Because everybody said, oh, it hears better, you know, gives you a better substrate and all this. But it didn't work good.
That's a bummer too, man. You work so hard on building, and you know, I had what I had, and that's what I had. I had to use it, and it just sucks. You know, because the finish is so hard. You spend all that time on
heater deal.
Huh?
This time I used all just non-tautening and nothing, you know, because it was fuselage and everything anyway. But yeah, it was just complete non-tautening with the Napa
DC 540.
P540.
Yeah, the only problem Samantha has with that is his button hurts her finger. It's small. I need to get one of them little things you put on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used
Yeah,
that.
those work so much easier too, because you can sweep back and forth. And I have a hard time with my cranky fingers, and that thing makes a big difference.
Yeah, I got one of them on to go on. Snaps right on top of the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have to take a block and shim it sometimes so that the handle squeezes the right height. They don't always come down to the handle right, so you know, you have to shim them up so they work easier, but that's no problem.
Yeah,
Guys, I'm about ready to fall out and go to sleep here. I'm gonna sign off.
Okay, well,
All right, Sparky. Take it easy.
all right, man.
Have a good one, guys.
Down here, Sparky. I'll see you at the Nats.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Hey, Sparky, before you take off, I got those air filters.
Cool. How much I owe you?
Well, it depends on how many you want. I bought 15 sets of them.
Okay.
Hey, I'd get. Yeah, I'll look you up. I'll see you when you get down there. I'll buy a few off of you.
I'll get a couple of them too if you want. If you
Oh,
still
I
have.
It's like they're $6 a piece. That's what the
Yeah, that
rubber
won't
and
be
the
right
foam
up.
fits it.
Sparky's eyes open are wide now when he heard about the mirror filters.
I can still get more too. That wasn't all of them.
Hey, Chris, was
Okay.
that the prop shop you got him at?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I bought 5 of them from that shop about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he selling for online?
I called him. I have my receipt somewhere. I'm trying to find my receipt. But it's about, like you said, like $6 or so.
Were they the old brew air filters?
Yeah.
Brew line.
Brew line or
Same
whatever?
packaging. They were the same thing. I don't know how many he has, but I think he has a bunch.
It's like crack.
Oh, look at that.
Look at all the baggies. in.
One bag is mine.
Did you
I
get
got
the
all-
rubber too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Run into me at the Nats. I'll take a few of them.
All right.
All right. See you there.
Good night,
All right,
Sparky.
have a
All
good
right.
one.
Night.
Sparky.
Fair winds, tight lines, bud.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Man, I look scraggy tonight. I guess it's okay for a Friday though, huh?
No, it's Friday, man.
Yeah. I need
I
to
don't
stay a
know.
little closer to the
This past week, it's been so humid outside and so hot.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's been a bear to work out in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only just now hitting 100 in Columbia. It's about 3 weeks late, which is okay with me.
When I was driving around today, it was 99 degrees out here in Escondido, California.
Really.
Oh, wonderful.
But it's a dry heat.
Now, how far are you from the ocean, Charles?
I'm probably, I don't know, a 30-minute drive.
Okay, so it's probably fairly humid if you got wind coming in off of the sea.
We used to live in Atwater.
Atwater. I'm not sure where Atwater's at.
It's up by Sacramento.
Okay, I'm down south. I'm just outside of San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wouldn't you get that humid air off that ocean then?
You know, it's not
Nothing
humid
less
like
in the
Florida.
west.
I don't know why it's not, but it's not that humid compared to other places.
Huh.
Which way is y'all's prevailing wind usually? Does it come out of the west or what?
Yeah, when I'm flying, I notice it coming out of the west.
So who's all going to the Nats?
I'm going.
I'm going.
I wish I was
Well,
going.
I'll have my trailer there. So come look me up. We'll be over there by where they fly pylon.
All right,
Oh,
I'm gonna.
you're RV camping?
Yeah, we usually camp somewhere kind of across from the damn shower place there.
Looks like Wally's avatar is here.
Yeah, I'll be
But
camping
yeah,
out there
one of
too.
the nights gonna have a cookout again. So you guys, we'll let you know. Stop by and have a cookout.
Yeah, how hard is it to find electricity and water on those sites out there? They got a lot of them.
No, they only got 4 with water and sewer. The rest you got to fill. You got to fill your tank, and then they do have electricity on a bunch of them.
Yeah, but you can
Yeah.
wheel out your hose and fill up your tank and then wheel your hose back up, right?
Yeah, that's what we do, But if you got to dump, then you got to pack all up and shit like that. But these guys, they bring they bring their shit in a month ahead of time, and they just pay it every day, and they're not even there.
Some of them guys have a portable tank that they have on wheels that they use to dump their shit in, and then they transport it to the dump site and dump their tank.
Yeah, it was a deal to where it used to be first come first serve. Then they let you reserve them. So then I called in for reserving them, and they're like, "No, we're gonna do first come first serve." And I don't know,
Can't win for losing.
but yeah, and I forget one guy there had that big old motorhome and stuff. He was bitching and shit, and got him to move somebody out, and he moved in. It was just crazy, and it's like, but he does something for Taba.
Wally dropped in and just showed us his avatar and dropped out. Maybe he'll get back. He has technical difficulties sometimes.
Yeah, I know I'd like to go camping there. Hell, I called AMA and they told me it was $17 a night. First come, first serve.
What was crazy was when they put in 4 of them. Well, the first year I went there, they wanted $5 more a night for sewer hookup and shit. I'm like, hell yeah. It was like $12, only $17 a night. Me and Dick split everything. I'm like, shit, that ain't nothing. We use the shower or whatever. And then the next year we did it, and then after that they couldn't do anymore. The Boy Scouts were going to put in 8 more of them, and the AMA wouldn't let them.
Wow.
Why?
I don't really know why. No one really seems to know. But the 4 that they got hooked with sewer cost them nothing. Plumbing places and stuff donated all this stuff, and that was a badge for the for Boy Scouts. Some construction badge.
Huh.
But I don't know why they won't let them put any more. I heard that it was too big for the septic system or whatever. But I don't give a shit if you're taking a dump in your trailer or you're taking a dump over there in the damn shower house. I don't see how that's more.
Hey, Wally, how you doing tonight, bud?
Hey, good. How is everybody tonight?
No, we're good.
Good.
Hey,
We got off to a pretty
You're
quick
all-
start.
I'm outside in the dark.
Hey, Thomas.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I had a way to brighten you up, Tom, but there's not on my end.
Yeah, I'll just have to get my face real close.
there you go.
You might not want that. I might end up cracking your screens.
Looks like you got your P40 finished up.
Yeah, it's been a bastard. I tore it all down today. Took everything off of it. clear coated it again after I cleaned it several times because I flew it yesterday for the first time. And it's got this is the first plane that I got it, you know, because it's got a longer tail moment than my other airplanes I'm used to flying.
Right.
So it corners different. But first, I'm still trimming it. I for some reason my tank decided to blow a little pinhole in the solder and was leaking air on me, and I had engine run problems as I was flying it. But I did do a couple loops and I did some wing overs, but I need to put it on the Vanessa machine and kind of fine tune it. There's a question. Now, if I have to add tail weight, what's a good way of adding tail? What's a good way of mounting tail weight onto my tail? I've got a 1/2 inch profile fuselage.
You really want to hear how you do it?
I usually just eat more.
It doesn't work for me, but I can tell you the way I do it if you want me to.
Go ahead, Rusty, and then maybe I'll kick in.
Okay. I just go under the stabilizer underneath the elevator as far back as I can get, bore a screw hole and bolt a 1/4 ounce lead weight back there. One of the things you use in the wingtip weight box, or however much it takes.
Yeah.
So
I
what
know
did I
it's
do?
not pretty, but
Bore a hole all the way through the fuselage and then put a bolt and mount
just
the weight?
enough for a 256 bolt and a T-nut. Yeah.
Yeah. What I do is I put an insert. I put a threaded insert in there, and that's how
Yeah,
I
that's
do
what
it.
I mean.
Okay.
T-nut.
Perfect.
If it's
Perfect.
not, that's
I've got a
okay. If it doesn't take much. If you got a 1/4 ounce or more that you're going to need, then what you need to do is hollow some of that out where you're going to put your weight, and then glue it in there, and then fill it over flush. What I usually do when I do it is I'll use super glue, fill that up until it's all filled up flush, and then you can file that off to where it's even with your fuselage. Then you can paint it with your fuselage color. Nobody even know to be there.
Yeah.
Good.
Now,
Yeah, looks good.
are you? Is this a profile or a?
It's a profile. Yeah, if I start boring any holes away, I'm afraid I'll weaken that back there.
Well, if you're in the elevator or behind the elevator, you know, from your hinges back,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about your strength there. Where your strength is going to be is on your stabilizer.
Yeah, that's almost a zero stress area back there.
And then what you can do is go down about a 1/2 inch below your stabilizer if you have to go into that, and then bore your hole, and then when you put your weight in there and then you glue over it, it'll be as strong as your balsa wood.
Very good.
The other thing is, a friend of mine, he went to a tackle shop or something, and he had these little lead, like 1/8 inch, look like 1/8 inch music wire, but just little 1-inch pieces of it. And I'm not sure how these fishermen use it, but I think it sticks in these like rubber lures, like a banjo or something.
Mm-hmm.
They can weight them things. And all he did was then he just kept clipping it, figured out how much he needed, drilled a little 1/8 inch hole, slid it up in there, put a little Bondo over it or whatever, you know, epoxy, whatever, and was done.
Them in. Yeah.
But they look like 1/8 inch rods. But they use them for something for fishing.
Yes, and Steve, I've got 3/8 round lead that you can buy in a roll. I mean, it's like $6-8 for a roll of it. And I use it for derby cars and stuff like that. But all you'd have to do is take a 3-inch drill bit and drill into your fuselage. Put some tape on your drill bit to where you don't go all the way through. And then what you do is you cut it with a saw to where it's got straight edges and cut like 3/8. So you got 3/8 round by 3/8 long. Stick that in the hole and put some glue over the top of it, and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to hide too. Just spackle it or something, and
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few ways you can put weight in a profile. When you get to where it's a full body plane, then it gets to where it's a little challenging because you got to cut some part of the body off back there, and then you got to figure out where you're going to mount it and all this. It's like my son's T-Rex. He's got one of them big T-Rex kits, and I got a 75 engine on it, and it's nose heavy, and it's got 2 access holes to do an adjustment for your control horn back there, but it doesn't have anything for putting weight in there. And I was going to put weights on and balance that out before I actually glued the tail and the rudder on, and guess what I forgot to do? I forgot to do that because I was going to actually put the weight inside the body there on the bottom of it, in the, you know, inside the body before I glued them on, and I forgot to do it. So now I got to cut that out because I know it's going to be nose heavy. And I got the same problem right now. Last night I put a smoothie together that's an ARB, and it's got a 45 in it, and it's nose heavy because that airplane's made for a 40 or a 35, you know, which is a lighter engine. So now I'm going to have to add weight to that, and I'll have to cut it up.
What you can do with that is, a friend of mine did it through that hole. Get some lead shot.
Yeah.
Mix up some epoxy. Put the lead shot in there and dip out the lead shot. Drop it inside that hole. It'll lay out in the bottom and stick right there.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan too. Real good plan. Then I don't have to cut it up.
Right. And the other thing is that you know anybody with a lathe, they can cut you a brass tail wheel.
Yeah, that I don't know. Well, I wish I had a lathe. My son's got one in his shop, but it doesn't work. I told him, let me take that thing home. It's a real small one. Just let me take that home and fix it so we can use it. Anyway, he hasn't parted with it yet.
I'd love to have a little one too. It'd take a while to learn to use it, but it'd be nice, something fun to play with anyway.
Oh yeah, boy, you can make some parts on them babies.
Yeah, we made up like for nose weight. You can use make a fast washer, and we actually got some tungsten. Made tungsten ones. They look like kind of like chrome a little bit, you know.
Huh?
You put them on there.
Right on.
How much tail weight you're gonna need?
I'm not sure yet. It's when I take my fingers and pick it up where the CG is, it's just right at the spar, a little right there. It does, the nose doesn't like go punk. It'll go, you know, slowly.
Yeah.
No, you're not gonna need very much at all.
You're not far off.
I would
maybe it's the long tail moment that I'm not used to as I'm flying it.
I'll tell you another thing you can do. Get you some solder and take solder and wrap it around your tail wheel. I mean
yeah, I've done that before.
Hey, now that is a real good idea.
And then
That's awesome.
But you wrap it around there and then tape it so it can't come. Then you can add or subtract. You get it there, then you can just glue it on.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
That would make me feel on the control handle as I'm flying, you know. Yeah, and I could do.
It's nice to be able to add it or take it out.
Right.
Before you make it.
You know, and a quarter of an ounce back there makes all the difference in the world. Too.
Oh yeah, what is it? Quarter. Don't they say on the tail that it doubles the weight? Like a quarter a quarter is actually like a 3/4.
Pretty close,
over.
It all depends on how long your tail is.
Yeah, there's more leverage back.
Well, I know this one compared to my other P40. You know, the tail moment is just like extended. I talked to the maker of it, you know, the kit, you know, and he said, well, he goes, I designed it. He goes, try it and see how you like it. So we'll get the weight on it, and then otherwise I got good line tension all the way around on my overheads. My wingtip box, I got 3/4 of an ounce in it right now, and my wings are level. And I did some inverting, but every time I had problems with my engine, so I thought, well, maybe it was my tank. I had to go up and down, move my tank to get it right, and then that's when I found that pinhole.
Yeah, that'll drive you crazy.
And it was upside down. That pinhole, the fuel was coming out of that pinhole because it was at the top of the tank. So when the fuel got there, well, it plugged up the air leak. Well, it made my engine run rich.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to get it set inverted and fly it inverted all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Two sets of landing gear on it. One pointed straight up, one pointed straight down.
Hey, there's a guy that has a plane like that. He's got 2 sets of landing gears.
I saw that. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. How would I explain that to the judges and say, well, here's the deal. I'm going to do the pattern, but I got to do it inverted.
Tell them you want to land this. Doesn't matter where you land. I'm going to land it upside down if I want.
You know what the judges would do looking at me? I was going to explain to them how I fly my flight.
That'd be
Who was that little beauty that just came in, Charles?
That's my baby. She's 10 years old.
Right on.
Yeah. She's a cutie.
Thank you. She takes after her mother. You can probably notice that.
Yeah, definitely.
You got to enjoy them kids while you got them, because they grow up and then they leave, and then you have no noise in your house.
Yes, yeah, I enjoy them. I definitely do.
You
They're a
got
lot
her
of fun.
flying? You got her flying yet, Charles?
I had her flying once, but I have 3 young kids, and after the other 2 flew, what was left of the plane wasn't very flyable. So, so I've been meaning to get a trainer for them. I'm, just that I'm so focused on fixing my planes, and life happens and it just gets in the way, and I keep forgetting about getting their planes set up. But yeah, I need to get them flying before they totally lose interest.
Yeah.
Samantha was 10 when she started flying.
How old's Samantha now? 12?
She will be 17 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Charles, what you do is go to the store and you can buy these little pretty stickers, But when you build a trainer, and say, hey, hand them the stickers and say, hey, go ahead and put them on where you want to.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
My buddy, my flying buddy, he's a Boy Scout leader, and he has a lot of kids all the time, and every time we do the flying for the kids, he's the one that takes the kids in the center circle, and he's got a lot of trainers. He's got a couple pink airplanes all set up for the girls, and when the kids come by to go fly, we have a bunch of airplanes there, and you'll see one kid just take a liking to one little airplane that he likes. Oh, well, we'll disconnect the lines and get that one connected and let him pick out the plane he wants to fly, Larry Lindbergh.
Yeah, I think the one that just came in, I think of all my kids, she's the one that's probably going to really gravitate toward flying, because she just loves hanging around her dad.
Hey, you never know. She might get into aviation where she wants to be an aviator.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, an aviator, an F-16 or an F-15 jet fighter pilot.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And one thing is that about 15, they don't like dad anymore. I don't understand it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's when they're starting to find out what boys are about. And then after they find out what boys are about, it's like, I'm chasing boys now, Dad. I'm going to let you play airplanes.
Yeah.
So my teenager, when she turned a teenager, he thought that she knew everything, and I didn't know nothing.
Oh yeah, the most common words that come out of their mouth is I know. Okay, then why did you do it?
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you no more. Just leave me alone. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, look at Steve. He's like, well, I got a drink after that one.
After my son finally moved out and went off
Oh,
to college,
man, too. Okay,
in
that's
the
all right.
backyard all night.
I was like, wow, boy, it must be rough. He's just
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, I wouldn't trade anything for the time that me and Samantha did this, and we'll argue.
Well,
And
I agree with you. I agree with you, Steve.
Yeah.
And those are moments there that will, last forever.
and it's the same, with her dance. Go watch her dance. She'd run track and stuff like that. And I mean, it's just,
Stay close
doing
to
stuff
them.
with them or whatever. It's worth it, no matter what they're doing.
Yep.
Yep.
Stay close to them. Being involved in things they like to do, and that way it's easier to get them to do things you like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a mechanic all my life, and my daughter and her husband are into drift racing. They got a drift car.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
So they live in St. Louis. So when I go down, we always, I always try to go down when there's a drift car race somewhere.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. She got a letter in track. She got a letter in dance at school. And then last year, or just here a few months ago, she got a letter for her grades and stuff, for academics. And I didn't even know they gave a letter for that.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I just did a
that
call
and
out on YouTube to see who was out there. Ken Colbert's the only one watching this right now. You guys check in, let us know who's there, just curious. Or tell us if there's anything you want to hear us talk about or ask a question or whatever.
Yeah, I'm picking on Tom tonight, so
That's okay.
if you just got on, I told him how you put tail weight on.
Hey, Rusty.
Them big old bear claws every morning,
Yeah.
Rusty,
Okay.
I've been watching some of your YouTube videos.
Oh.
Pretty awesome, man.
Oh, my flying videos.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I
posted
really
good and bad.
enjoyed watching them. You did a great job. It was fun. I sit here most of the day one day watching your videos. It was great.
No, really.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I post the good and the bad too. If I wreck them, I post it. If I have a good flight, which I rarely ever get a camera on, I post that too.
Well, I'll tell you, one that really had me chuckling though was when you was flying the Magnum. That Magnum, a couple times, I thought that thing was going to pull you off the ground.
It just about did, boy. I'll tell you, it used to walk me like a dog. It was 72 ounces, and I weigh about 125. So
That's a big airplane, and like you say, when you was landing that thing, you say, that's the smoothest landing airplane you've ever had. That's a beautiful landing airplane.
I'd never landed a plane with wing-mounted gear before, and I've always been a terrible lander. Just recently, I've gotten pretty good at it, but yeah, that was one thing I could do good with the Magnum, but it'd pull me so hard I'd skip the wheels at the bottom of the hourglass.
Oh, I'm telling you, I could see it was really pulling you. But
Yeah.
you did a hell of a job. That was really a good pattern you did.
That was back when I was just a beginner too.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
with
pretty
me,
awesome.
landing's always been a pretty good thing with me. I've never failed to land.
Yeah,
I've landed a lot of times before I wanted to and stuff, but I've never failed to land one of them things.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody's watching my YouTube videos. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I've seen there's been a few people watching them. The numbers that shows, how many times it's been watched.
Lately, it's
you're
been
getting
a
some
lot
numbers
higher.
on there. And the thing I forget to do is, it gives you a thumb up or thumbs down. Is some of them I put thumbs up on, and then I was going, oh crap, I forgot to put a thumbs up on this last one. because to me, it don't matter who's doing the videos. Like, I can't remember his name, but he lives up in Alberta. He's got a bunch of videos, and he's been on here too.
Hogs and Plains. That's
Hogs
Darren.
and Plains. Yeah, and I watch some of his, and same thing. I like to put thumbs up on them because the effort is worth the thumbs up. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I like his too because he narrates. And
Yeah, he does a good job.
I hate it when it's just music or something. You know, I want
Now,
to hear.
you live in Illinois?
Who?
Tom,
What?
you live in Illinois?
Yeah, Avon, Illinois.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Trying to figure out where everybody lives.
Yep.
Yeah,
South
heck,
Carolina here.
With this thing, you can live any place, and it's like, you know, be on here.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is great.
You know, and the thing is like here where I'm at in Idaho, me and my boys, we're the only ones that fly control line. It's like we're in a lonely world all by ourselves, and
Yeah.
I can't even get my grandson to fly. You
I
know,
got a lonesome buddy in West
Yeah, you
Virginia.
gotta
I need
watch
to
your
recruit
field.
him to come on here and get with us. His name is oh well, I keep forgetting every time I want to say a name, but I'm gonna get him to come join us up because he's got nobody to talk to, nobody to fly with. So I'm gonna invite him in here.
Evo.
it's fun.
Samantha and I, when we started, there was only the two of us, and then we got a hold of Dick through. I worked with his nephew, and it never dawned on me. He was, my uncle used to fly and stuff. Well, he taught me to fly when I was a kid. And Dick got a hold of people that used to fly a long time ago and got more people flying, but there was only just me and Samantha.
Yeah. Ken Colbert's from St. Francis, Maine. He just checked in and from St. Francis. Yeah, my sister and her husband lived in Maine for a while. He worked for a paper company up there.
You got to be kind of careful flying in Idaho, don't you?
Well, the problem is over here, you know, when I watch videos, people talk about dead air.
I mean,
you know, and here I tell everybody we have no air.
Yeah. I was thinking of landing. You know, them potatoes getting away.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of potatoes. In fact, I had some potatoes for dinner last night.
Yeah. 2 potatoes standing on a street corner. You know how to tell which one's the prostitute?
How's that?
You got a sticker on her that says Idaho.
Idaho.
Idaho. I like that one.
I like that.
Yeah, very good.
Those whole jokes are always funny.
Yeah.
I used to be able to reel them off. I seem to have lost that part of my brain in my old age, though. I can't just whip them out like I used to.
Yeah, me either.
And a lot of them that were hilariously funny 10, 20 years ago are not acceptable in a public forum these days.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I know.
I got some jokes, but yeah, they're dirty.
Yeah, you got to be careful being on the internet. Everybody in the world can be seeing us.
Yeah.
Although I can't think his name right now either. The one we comes in here from New Zealand.
Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald. Now Gerald's got a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we was talking to him the other night about his poster on the wall, and I said, "Hey, Gerald, is that your wife over there in that poster?" Oh man, did he get all red? And
I saw that the other day.
that was great.
Hey guys, I'm getting off. It was nice talking to everybody.
Okay,
If I
Steve.
didn't get back on before, you know, there'll probably be a couple more of these going before I take off for the net. So
We'll see you Monday.
I'll have her flight report. I won't be doing any flying this weekend, but
all right. Well, you guys have fun.
Okay.
Right on, we'll
See
see
you
you.
later. Maybe it's
Take it easy.
Monday.
see ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Well, looks like the neighbors are pulling in.
Oh boy.
I tell you, my neighbors, man, I work on so many different kind of things. There might be a skid steer here, or I got something always going on. Now I'm out here in my driveway talking to a computer.
Well, the thing is you're what they call a Mr. Fix-It. If you got a problem, you're the go-to guy.
Yeah, I fixed his weed eater today. He had an air leak in the carburetor where it mounts to the thermoplate, and I couldn't find my gasket making material, so I just took the cardboard out of my notebook I had, paper notebook,
Mm-hmm.
and made a gasket out of it. And yeah, man, he was able to. That thing ran like a top.
Sweet.
Did he watch you? Did he watch you work on it?
Oh yeah. He stood right there. And I got gasket maker. I got all kinds of cutters and stuff. And punch set, for bolt holes. I whipped that baby right out, and he goes, "Man, who'd ever thought that a notebook?"
I fixed our toilet valve with a Budweiser, a cardboard Budweiser coaster, drink coaster. Thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just had to drill a circle of holes in it and bolt her down. Still working about 10 years later.
Very good, Mr. MacGyver.
Yeah, Mr. MacGyver.
We're modelers, man. There isn't anything.
That's right.
I agree. Boys, it's a good skill to have.
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially in my work world, I'll go up on a construction site and say, yeah, I could fix this machinery, but parts off your truck.
You may not be able to drive home.
That's right. That's what I tell them. I said, might not be able to drive home, but I could take the parts off it and put back on the truck, and then we can drive it. I've done that a lot. They'll say, do whatever it takes. Just get that machine running. So, yeah, you got to be the type of MacGyver.
Yep, you do.
Mm-hmm. Especially when the hobby shop.
I'm going to do something I've never done before, and it's put landing gear on my Cardinal wing. And I'm guessing I'm going to have to put a couple of harder ribs in there and put a block in between them. Is that what you do? And then anchor it to the spar?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you do is you can from your leading edge wood to your spar, build you some plywood pieces that will go in there and fit in there, and then you have to get your angle straight where you want them, so each strut is going to be in line with each other. Then you get some hardwood, and you can actually take your hardwood, you can buy it already grooved, or you can groove it yourself.
Yeah.
And then you just mark it out where you want to put that, and then you can cut that out and put it in there. So each end of your hardwood will have to have, your doublers. I guess they'd be your plywood doublers in there, and then you'll have to have another one stacked. Say, for instance, towards the inside, towards your body on each one of them, and that'll have to be drilled so your leg can go up into that.
Should I have a heavier spar than what came in the kit?
I would just leave the spar that you've got. What you want is your plywood doubler that you'll be gluing to your rib there on each side. And that's usually enough to see, like these. There's quite a few airplanes I built that have them made that way. No, it wasn't either. I was thinking of your Yak 9, but that's a body mount landing gear.
Yeah, I don't have a wing
Hey,
mount.
Rusty.
Yeah.
I got pictures of it that I took on my P40. Not this one, but the first one.
Yeah.
Got landing gear, and I got a picture of it, crystal clear, of the two doublers that he's talking about, and the hardwood that goes in there.
Okay. Yeah, if I can see a picture, then I can improvise straight from that with no problem.
If I was in the house, I'd get my thumb drive and plug it in right now. give it to you right now, but
That's all right. You can PM it to me on Stunt Hanger or over email or
I do a lot of Facebook.
yeah, or even text it to me. Whatever.
I'll put it on the PM of Facebook for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
Rusty,
it's not that difficult.
Rusty,
What'd you say, Charles?
watching a lot of Wendy's videos. Wendy, instead of using plywood, he would make plywood out of just out of balsa, but he would just do different grain angles, and he'd make like a plywood, but it's just actually balsa.
Yeah, that's what my friend Bob does too.
Yeah, you can do that, but if you've got, depends on what you have for your spar. If it's a solid spar going through there, balsa wood would be great. But if it's like a 1/4 by 1/4 square spar up on top and up on bottom of your rib, I would use the plywood because you're going to need the strength.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing, what I do on my spar, I put in, I start from the middle, I go out with 1/8, and then I reduce it to 3/16, and then I reduce it to 1/16, and I put shear webbing, and I cut it perfectly so it fits right underneath, right in between the two spars.
Yep.
And then the whole length to where it hits the other rib, 2 ribs.
Yeah.
And that's how I get the washout out of my wing. After I make them, I check my washout, and if it's off a little bit, I just twist my wing to get it straight, and then I glue them puppies in there.
Yeah. Okay.
And that will give you a super strength without the wings snapping.
Right.
You know, under a load. Plus, them shear webbing goes right past, right where them 2 ribs are, right where you got your landing gear mounted to. So that's extra strength there also.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be in a spot where your piece coming up for your wire going up into the wing, you know, that piece of wood there isn't going to interfere with your lead out on the forward wing.
Yeah.
That's something you have to kind of
think about that.
Yep.
You know, once you do that, you just copy it on the other side. And the other side
that one piece of hardwood that I glue on the long piece, but you're talking the 90-degree bend. You got to add a little piece of hardwood here for that to go up in. I cut that piece at a triangle like that. I do away with a lot of weight because my wire goes right up through the center of the triangle.
Right. Yeah, you can get rid of some weight on that, trimming it.
Yeah, I mean, after I get it installed on the back side of the hardwood, I'll take my die grinder and I'll just grind off a 45-degree edge all the way down to get as much of the hardwood out of there as I can.
Good idea.
I seen Al Raby's video on his wing making and Bob Hunt's wing making.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all giving me some ideas. I'll be able to.
Now, Bob Hunt's wing making, you actually have a cover that goes over your landing gear on the underneath of your wing, and it's held on by 2 bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the Provac
that's a nice.
Are made that way.
That's a real nice, sleek look, you know, and you're able to remove the landing gear that way also, you know.
Yeah.
This Cardinal also came with parts to make to laminate wheel pants with too. I've never had that in a kit before.
Well, wheel pants work great if you're flying on concrete or blacktop, something like that. But I'm not a fan of them in the grass.
Yeah, that's what my flying buddy has found out too. So
last year,
easily removable.
Last year at the 2016 Nats, and it was my turn to fly. I was all ready, man, I looked real professional, and I'm like, here I go ahead and wave off, and my guy lets go of the plane, and it went, face first like this and died, and it was some freaking wheel pants.
Yeah, Wayne found that out flying out at Fort Jackson with wheel pants on his Cavalier, and he took them off to fly the rest of the day.
Yeah, I've got couple airplanes, what I did was I made 2 sets. I got one set with wheel pants, and then I made another set of wires. But I just run regular wheels on that. Of course, all my wheels I use lightweight. The lights. Put them on them, and then fly in. And I pretty much just got away from the wheel pants altogether because the weight they save.
Yeah, they're just better for looks. Besides that, if you don't make them perfectly aligned, they're a deflection
That's what I
surface.
forgot.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
bet it is. You bet it is. They act just like a rudder.
Yeah.
At least the wheel pants, instead of the, they're at least airfoiled.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal. But you put them what do you call them? Spats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a couple of rudders under there.
Yeah, and man, you got to really, I'd have to figure out how in the hell to precisely angle them in the correct manner that they need to be for the zero deflection,
Or even a little outboard deflection. I don't know. That wouldn't be a good idea.
No.
But yeah. Straight into the wind is best.
I saw a video from Wendy, and he crashed his plane, and he still had the wing, and so he demonstrated his wing gear mount. I mean the landing gear and the wing, and he actually was bending it back and forth, and he actually broke the axle above the where he was in the wing. I mean, that's how strong his technology is. So I would really encourage you to look at some of his videos to see how he builds it up, because
yeah, I'll look through them. They're all on CL guys.
Right.
Yeah. You just have to pick through them. It takes time to watch Wendy videos.
That particular setup that he puts in, his wings works really nice. In fact, the Straga's got it. Straga's got it. I've got another one. What is it? The Legacy's got kind of the same setup too.
All right.
Hey, you know what? It just occurred to me. I've got the old Magnum wings. I could look in them and see how they're put together too.
Yeah, you just
maybe even borrow.
Same thing with balsa as your foam core. It's actually easier to deal with when you got balsa.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I found out, I went downstairs and we were talking about kits and stuff the other day. I actually have 2 Magnum kits that are still in the box down in my basement. I forgot that I bought another one, so yeah, I've got Magnums coming out my ears.
I'd love to be able to fly big planes like that, but I think 55 ounces is probably near the top of my comfort zone.
My first P40, it's 72.9.
Wow.
And,
Really?
let me tell you, it pulls.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Yeah, they
pull like a horse if you get a lean run.
They say an average stunt flying plane is pulling 15 G's going around that circle.
Wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
You're talking about in turns, right? Not just flying right around.
Yeah, you're probably doing 45 G's when you come out of them squares.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd hate to be a real pilot doing that, doing some of our maneuvers.
No shit. Especially if you had to pull out 5 feet off the ground.
Well, I was at Reno in 2011 when the Galloping Ghost Mustang crashed, and they said that pilot, when you first encountered his problem, the trim tab on the elevator came off, or actually it malfunctioned, and that airplane went up, and they said that he pulled enough G's that it went off the G meter, and the G meter goes to 18.
Holy crap.
Anyway, it put him to sleep, and he came up over, and then he ended up crashing in the crowd.
Yeah. Now, some spectators got injured or killed in that crash, didn't they?
Yeah, there was 9 of them that got killed, and there was almost 100 of them that ended up going to the hospital.
Mercy.
Yeah, some of them guys were wearing anti-G suits. Now,
yeah, there's actually only one pilot wearing that.
Aircraft that didn't even have the anti-G system. and
There's only
they're putting them in there now.
yeah, there's only one guy that's doing that though. Everybody else has decided to stay away from them because of the added weight. And all it really is a valve that's got a system in it that regulates the pressure in the G-suit. Anyway, his name's Tom Richard. He flies the Mustang that's called Precious Metal that has a Griffin in it with counter-rotating propellers. Got to look it up on YouTube. It's a cool airplane.
That is a pretty plane.
I think I know the one you're talking about because I've seen a Mustang with counter-rotating prop.
Yeah, this is the third one that they've made. They've made that one. They made Miss Ashley 2, which was converted from a whole bunch of different airplanes. That airplane had the same problem Galloping Ghost had, and it had pulled so many G's that it pulled one of the wings off, and it crashed. And then another one was the Red Baron, and that airplane was actually hangared about 60 miles from where I live. So those were really my favorite planes as far as Mustangs go.
We just have a guy checked in. Robert Ladd said, "Good evening, everybody." He's hanging out on a road trip. Just wanted to listen in. And I don't know how long ago he posted. I wish they put timestamps on these.
What's his road trip?
I don't notice them. But anyway, Robert Ladd's watching this.
Where's his road trip at? Where's he at?
He didn't say. Tell us where your road trip is, Robert.
Yeah, what kind of road trip you doing?
He might not want to disclose all that information.
Maybe he's road tripping it to his flying field.
Oh, he just left. No.
Yeah, but they don't put timestamps on that YouTube chat, and they don't tell us when people come and go.
Yeah.
But it looks like we just got 3 viewers right now. Besides us.
I don't know. Frank's just been like a little busy bee in the old pictures.
Man,
Yeah, it's hard for me to talk and work at the same time.
Yeah.
You working on your lost foam there, Frank?
Yeah, it's that ultimate biplane.
Cool.
I decided I'm going to build me a little biplane because I've got one of them OS Winkle engines that I want to put on the nose of one of them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
A wank. That's
Yeah,
cool.
those are neat. What's that, like a 30 size or something?
Yeah, it's a little bigger than the 30, but I've run it and I've never had it on an airplane, and I keep thinking, a little biplane, a PT-17 or, a P-6E Hawk, something like that would be ideal to put on,
Has this
Something like a
thing
radio
got,
engine.
has this thing got like 3 glow plugs on it?
No, it's got one flow plug, but the thing about a rotary engine like that is one revolution, the way it's made inside, it fires 3 times.
Okay. I'm getting a lot of feedback. Has somebody got their YouTube running?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback too.
Getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
It just started all of a sudden. Oh, well. We've always had this problem to some degree.
Last one. Let me give you this here. Thank you. Yeah, we're live. Are you going to turn the light on? That might help. Thank you.
Charles, is that an ARF?
Yes, it was an ARF.
Hey,
They are.
that.
Yeah,
You're getting photobombed.
they're getting photobombed. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks like you look like a jackalope.
Yeah.
Isn't that a rabbit with antlers?
Yes. That's my oldest daughter. Yeah, that Strega ARF, it's a good flying plane. I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to fix the motor. I have a stock 81. The crankshaft broke, and I have all the parts here, and I just haven't put it back together. But I'm missing it because it's better than anything I have right now.
That crankshaft breaking was about the strangest story I ever heard.
Yeah, I believe I bought the motor used from a friend of mine, and he had crashed the motor in a Tony, the same Tony that Gordon Delaney made. He made a Tony, and he crashed it. And then I had it, and we hadn't exchanged money yet, and so I had put like 150 flights on it. And during the last flight, I heard this sound, and I thought maybe the muffler was coming loose. And so I checked it out. Thank you, baby. And I couldn't find anything wrong with the motor. I took it home and took it apart, and that's when I discovered that the crankshaft was in 2 pieces. But it was a perfect fit. I mean, you could still flip the motor. You could still start it, as a matter of fact. Yeah. And so I just haven't.
I saw something this past Sunday I've never seen before, and Bob Zambelli was flying his Viking with an old spark hitting in it, and threw a rod in the middle of the vertical eight. It just went pow, and locked up, and he was able to pull it out and make it fairly hard, but he wasn't landing on the wheels, so didn't do anything to break the prop. But I don't know what it was. It was a sparker, and he said that was a common problem with that engine, and he had a supply of spare or a connecting rod, no damage on the rod. But I'd never seen it happen. I knew exactly what it was when it happened.
You got a lot of feedback.
Yeah, is it just when I talk, or is it everybody else?
Is someone got the problem, or is it all of them?
Anybody?
You talk too.
Hey, Rusty, maybe it's when you were talking to that guy.
Yeah, Chris, you don't have no feedback. Charles don't have no feedback.
Oh,
No feedback here. So here's the crankshaft, and
Wow.
That's just in back of the front bearing, huh? Yeah.
right under the intake for the Venturi. Yeah. That's where it broke. It's a perfect fit, as you can see.
Yep.
And then, so yeah, I got a whole new crankcase and a cover plate and a crankshaft, because the back plate on the stalker actually screws in. Not like with 4 screws, it actually screws in.
Yeah, so you had to get a new case too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe it was actually still flying like that, but the bearings were holding it together tightly enough to where it transmitted power. That's amazing.
Yeah, it just so here's my my new crankcase.
Sweet.
And you probably can't see, but there's threads there, and then the cover plate, it actually has threads right here, and it just screws in.
Yeah.
Do they use a gasket or an O-ring on that?
Yeah, there's a gasket on there, and just screws in.
Wow.
There's 2 slots. There's a slot here and a slot there, and just screws in. But I absolutely love this stalker. Absolutely, it's I mean, because I'm turning, like, you won't believe this, you guys. I'm only turning like 6,800 RPMs. I'm turning a 3-blade, 13-inch prop, and I'm getting like 5.2 lap time.
Man.
You know?
Oh, I love that.
I have all the torque in the world. It's in like in a 4-cycle the whole time.
What do you use for fuel? What's your fuel mixture?
Like, I'm using like all synthetic and 5% nitro or no nitro. So I can do the stunt pattern on like 3.25 ounces.
Jeez.
Dang.
Yeah. It's
incredible.
It's amazing, and it's quiet. And because it's turning so slow RPMs, the motor is really quiet. I mean, it's obviously more louder than a electric, but it's quieter than most motors.
How does that motor? How do you get the C800 out of it?
Say it again.
How do you get 6800? I mean, that's really super low.
Well, the prop is a really high pitched prop. I have a, I actually, it's probably a 13.6 prop, but I repitched the last inch to like 9.5. So I'm just turning low RPMs, but I'm got all kinds of torque, and it is absolutely amazing. You know, but I've had to do some other things in life other than fly airplanes lately.
What's the pitch of your prop?
It's like it was originally it's a carbon fiber 3-blade, and I believe it was 13.6, but the last inch I repitched to like 9.5 inches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because that motor, I can't get more speed by leaning it out. It just doesn't go any faster when I turn the needle in. So to get speed, I just get it through pitch. And the motor is so torquey that I can put all the pitch I want on there. It's I've never had an engine like this, and I absolutely love it.
That's a Stalker. That's a Stalker 60.
Yes, Stalker 81.
Oh, Stalker 81.
Has it got really high compression?
I believe so. Yeah,
I gotta
probably
an engine and show you.
Please do.
Well, that's a big motor.
Yeah. So here's my new it's my new case. I don't have the head on it yet, but I don't know if you can see 81 on there yet.
Yeah.
It's 81.
Yep. Okay, all right.
Not 18. Not 18, but 81. Yeah. It is such a jewel. Yeah, so it's me, it's the cat's meow. And you know, a lot of people have had problems running that motor, and I think they were just running it too fast. Because it's a friend of mine, Walter Hicks, actually coached me. I got it from a guy who had problems with it, and I think in hindsight he was probably just not running it the way it wanted to be run, which is lower RPM and
no cast oil and real low nitro.
Yeah, it doesn't like nitro. I've added nitro, and all it does is it just gets hot. It just doesn't like it. I like a little nitro so I can needle the needle valve. I find that it's harder to needle when I'm running 0 nitro, but when I run 5% nitro, I can still get a nice needle.
Extra nitro seems like it would run the engine cooler. I guess every engine is different.
Yeah, I guess so. What you got there, Wally?
You guys ever heard of an engine called a Mac?
I've heard WinMac.
This is an engine made in Russia, and it's 60.
Wow.
But this will be my next engine to go in my next Magnet.
Oh, wow, it's nice.
Yeah, it's brand spanking new.
Very nice.
Other than the carburetor, I'll put a intake on there, a Venturi with the needle valve for control line. But
very nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I look at the machine work, and man, they did a hell of a job. But I got it for $50.
Wow.
Those Eastern Europeans know how to build nice machinery.
So anyway, I couldn't pass it up.
Well, you guys have a good night. I'm going to go to work in the morning here.
Okay.
All right, Chris.
All right, we'll see you, Chris.
Hey, listen, before you go, if after everybody gets their brew line filters, if you still got one, I'll take it off your hand.
I'll save it for you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thanks.
I got plenty.
Yeah, I just need one. I don't fall but one plane at a time. So.
All right, cool. No problem.
Comes the Amtrak.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
We'll see you Monday night.
Yeah. I'm on vacation after tomorrow for 2 weeks, so I'm good to go.
Wow, very good.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for 2 weeks?
Well, I'm gonna take it a week off here, mess around, get my stuff ready for the Nats. Then Thursday or Wednesday night, head out to the Nats, stay out there for 4 days or something. Come back and kick back and relax a little while.
That sounds good.
We'll have a good time.
Yep. All right. We'll talk to you Monday.
All right.
See you, man.
Bye.
See ya.
Yep.
See ya.
Now let's see if the echo goes away. Nope.
I'm going to kick out for a minute, see by chance if it's my side.
Okay. Now let's see if the echo goes away. Nope, we're eliminating it one by one. I don't know what the hell that's all about.
You're echoing so bad.
You know what? I'm not hearing the echo on my side.
Really? It's about a second.
You
It's
just
about a
cleared
second
that.
time my voice. Never
I'm only hearing your voice one time.
I hear everybody twice.
Maybe it's Charles.
Yeah, blame me.
Well, Chris always does. He's not wearing his earphones, but he had his earphones at night, so that wasn't going.
Well, fellas, I'm gonna get out of here. It's dark, and yep, I've got to put things away and close the garage up, and I've got a big day.
All right, man.
So,
All right, take her easy.
I'll see you guys
All right, Tom.
Monday.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Now let's see if it goes away. It was Tom.
It was Tom.
Yes,
What a
Tim.
Huh.
It
Yeah,
sure
everything-
was.
Is it gone?
Everything's
Yeah.
good
It
now.
was Tom, huh?
That
Wow.
damn Tom. Well, now
Every time.
Wow, that's funny.
Well, I wonder why it wasn't doing it and then it was doing it. So that's strange.
Interesting.
No idea.
Hey, Rusty, you know how you said you're going to replace your T-nut with that insert? I've
Yes.
never used that. That's your first time doing that, or you did it before?
No, I've used them before. In fact, that's what I've got on all 4 engine mounting bolts in my Yak 9. And it's got a shaky old Fox 35 in it. And they hold good and tight. Just epoxy them in.
That's what I'm going to start doing is putting inserts in too.
The
You might-
package that they come in tells you what drill bit size to use. And you just drill it out to the minor diameter is actually what it is. And then paint it with epoxy and run a bolt into it and screw it in. Just put a little Vaseline on your bolt and on the shoulder of the bolt so that
Right.
it doesn't get glued to the insert. And then with one good pop, it'll usually come loose and you can run the bolt back out. Sometimes you better wait till the next day. And if the bolt won't come out, then just heat it up with the soldering iron on your hex key until it gets good and hot, and it'll come out then.
Wow. Yeah, I've always been intrigued to try it. I just haven't had the nerve to try it because I have 2 planes that are only have 3 bolts that are tight. I have the Vector, which has a loose T-nut. My Nobler has 1 loose T-nut. And there's one other plane I know as well, and I've been entertaining putting the inserts for those.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it, because if you got the T-nuts buried inside behind doublers and triplers, you don't want to tear your plane up to get to it. You sure as hell don't want to run a bolt all the way through to the other side of the plane and have a nut out there. So I think those inserts are a good idea for doing this. And they're big and fat, so they've got a lot of surface area for gluing, and just make sure you run them in straight. Now, if you want to run them in after you've already got the doublers glued over the engine beams, then this is on a profile, then countersink and chamfer out around the holes, because the T-nut will splinter your plywood when they go in. So and then run it in past the plywood so it's flush with the beam itself, and that works good.
Now, did you
I did it that way on my Yak 9 and on my Osprey, which was my Skyray kit bashed into the Flight Streak looking plane.
Just to clarify something for me, now your T-nut was stripped, so the T-nut's still there, and you put the insert against it?
Yeah, I just ran it down. I don't know actually if they're touching each other or not. It was a wide beam. It wasn't half-inch. It was about 5/8, but I ran it in so that it's about a 1/4 inch sunken past the face of the beam. And if it's touching the T-nut, I couldn't tell when I screwed it in. It might have pushed that T-nut backwards a little bit.
Okay.
But I'd pretty much mangled that T-nut because I had tapped it with a 540 tap, trying to get a 540 nut to work in there, but it started turning the T-nut. So that was only good for a couple of flights, and it didn't give me any trouble. Though, so you know, the T-nut's all the way in the back, and it doesn't reach in that deep anyway. The threaded insert is only, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch long, maybe, and so it probably doesn't. It is plenty of room for it behind it.
Now that insert, the Dubro insert?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also make something called Keenserts, Keenserts. Tim Westcott turned me onto those, and I looked them up, and they look far superior to the brass Dubros. But it's been so long now, I can't remember what it was that I thought was so superior about him. But look up Keenserts and see if you don't like the looks of that better. And I'm before K-E-E-N Serts.
Spell out again. K-E-I. How'd you spell that? How'd you spell that?
K-E-E-N-S-E-R-T. Keensert.
I'll have to look at them because I got a couple of planes that I plan on putting inserts in, and I'll look at that because if they're better than the Dubros, that'd probably be the way I'll go.
Even the Dubros are pretty good. Even the 256, if you can get the small ones, those are good for tank mounts if you've got a screw mounted tank.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for an adjustable tank mount with the brass tabs on it.
Yeah,
those 256 are good for that.
Profile, that P51 profile at Sterling, that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah. Now remember, you're screwing into balsa when you put your tank mount on. So
yeah.
I think if I recall, I drilled them with a little bit smaller drill bit than it called for than I used in the hardwood beams, and then because I knew that would spread the balsa without splitting it. So I felt like that was a better idea, but you decide for yourself when you go to do that.
Well, that sounds pretty good, though. I'll probably try that too. That's Frank. Standing away.
That wasn't Frank.
Oh.
Sounded like a plane flying over or a train going by.
You hear my sanding over the thing?
Yeah, I hear it. Like music.
Working away. Wish I had this computer down in my business basement so I could work and do what you're doing, Frank.
I know, same here. I envy you, Frank, being working on your plane.
Listen. Hey, Tom Creasy just posted, I'm back in the house now. I hear no feedback. Was it me? Yes, Tom, it was you. I'm going to type that too. Yes.
Now you can come back on and where you're in the house, you won't have no feedback.
Oh, they probably will though.
So Frank, is that going to be a control line or an RC plane?
This is going to be an RC. I just had Bob Hunt make me a lost foam system for the wing for it. So
Very nice.
I'm going to be scratch building.
Very, very nice.
Thank you.
I gotta walk away for a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
Y'all don't burn stunt hanger down while I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on here for a week. I was going, wonder if they're coming on tonight. And I thought, okay, I'll go check. And there they were.
I'm back.
Hey, Tom.
There you are. You're back. In the house. No feedback. Life's good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm gonna look here around for see if I got my thumb drive in. I'll see if I can find something there for Rusty.
What'd you say about Rusty?
Don't tell him, guys.
That damn
We
Rusty.
were going to burn the stunt hanger down.
You left your echo outside, Tom.
Yeah, well, the bugs is getting to me and all the noises.
Hey, Tom, I'll show you this engine I got. It's pretty cool. I've never seen one like this before.
Okay. Oh, that's that one from Russia.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that? This is it. It's
Yep. Yep.
60 size.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't believe that the workmanship in this thing was like first rate.
That is
Like,
nice.
Man, that's going in my next Magnum for sure. Make a tunnel on that thing. And I've got a pipe for it downstairs too. The only problem is it's aluminum pipe, so it's not as light as the carbon fibers they're making, but for the money I couldn't pass it up. I thought I better get it.
Right.
So I'm going to have to really build my airplane light to compensate for a heavier pipe.
I found I got a carbon fiber pipe off eBay about a month ago.
Yeah?
Actually made by Bill Werwage.
Oh, Werwage
Oh,
pipe.
wow.
Yeah, he does some good pipe too.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy because I actually have some OS Max VFs. So I have a couple 46s and one 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no pipes. I only have one header, I think, between the three of them. But I'm hoping to put that in a. I have plans for a Pathfinder, and I was thinking about the built-up Pathfinder, not the LE, but the Mark II. I got plans from John Miller, and I was thinking about putting that VF, the 40, in that. And so I didn't have a pipe until then. I saw that on eBay, and I think I got it for probably with shipping no more than $50.
That's good. Yeah, they come up once in a while. It just seems like every time they come up, I happen to be broke.
Yeah, I understand that.
If it's within a week after I get paid, it's like all I do is go in there and look. But if it's during the week that I get paid, it's like, watch out, I can buy some stuff.
I totally understand that. And that's when I see the best deals. It's like I'm so broke I can't even afford the best deal, or else I forget to make the bid.
Oh, yeah.
I remember one time I saw a Super Tiger 60 with muffler ears, Venturi needle valve. It went for like 16 or 17 bucks.
Wow.
I was almost sick. I was at work and I couldn't bid.
Yeah.
But I tried to take my brake on. I tried to time my brake so I can go bid. And when I missed it, I was sick.
Yep. I missed a lot of bids
oh
too.
my
It's just like, oh, I gotta let another one go. I don't know
So
what.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I like collecting engines. You know, I got boxes of engines in my basement, and it's like my son, after I die and he goes through that stuff, he'll be shaking his head. What the hell was he thinking when he bought all this?
I know. It's easy to do. Because I started back in this hobby probably 14 years ago, 15 years ago, before my oldest one I was born, and I look at my drawer. I have a big drawer full of motors too. You know.
Yeah, you know, and the ones I want, like, I want to get the little 10 McCoy, and them things are running like over $100 when you see them on eBay. It's like, holy crap!
Yeah, that's
I wish
actually
they'd go back to making them.
the
In
TD.
fact, I
That's
seen
a-
your video when you was flying that little one of yours.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was awesome.
TD one. That's
Yeah.
a badass little engine.
That'd be awesome. Oh man, I've got the 20 and I've got a whole box full of 49s, but I don't have the 09s and the 15s. 15s are going for a lot of money too.
You need to join up with coxengineforum.com. That's a fun little forum. We have
I guess so.
We have all kinds of contests and stuff every year. Every winter when it gets boring, we have a reed speed contest to see, and we all send them to one guy who runs them in a day, a reed valve engine, and see who can get the highest RPMs. And we had the speed contest to see who could build the fastest little speed plane, and all kinds of stuff like that. We have an
That'd be
engine of the
fun.
month contest every month. Photo contest.
I'm gonna have to do that. That'd be great. If I would have saved all the stuff I had when I was, 12 and on up to now, man, I'd have to have one of them rental storage units. But well, it was about 20 years ago. I got rid of almost everything I had.
Wow.
Then I decided later, well, I'm going to get back into it again and start over. So there was probably 15 years there that I didn't fly or didn't do. I did plastic models. I got plastic models all over the country, but
Wow.
but I didn't, do any of the wood stuff. Yeah, I do air race displays, and yeah, they're everywhere, and they're really neat. But anyway, I went back into the wood and started doing the control line. Then my first control line, decided to convert an RC plane into control line, and I did a Mustang, and that thing didn't fly worth a damn. And I ended up I started out with a 35, went to a 40, went to a 45, and then I'd crashed like 10 times. Finally, it was so crashed that I couldn't do anything with it. So I decided no more conversions from RC to control line. It just doesn't work.
It's too heavy, probably, isn't it?
Yeah, it was heavy. And then not only that, I finished it with rattle can paint, from like Kmart, and it was a heavy airplane. That's why I ended up putting a 45 in it. And the 45 I put in it, boy, I tell you what, that thing pulls like a freight train. And it had enough engine there, but the airplane they're not for control line. It didn't work. So I ended up putting it in the ground. Then, well, I start over. I'm going to build them for, real control line kits. And I built the first one I built was really good, was that Yak 9. And that wing on that airplane is so crooked. You would, if you looked at that, you'd go, I can't believe this thing flies. But that airplane really flies good. It's amazing.
Mine's a fun flying plane. It flies almost like a half A.
Yeah, it's funner than hell. It's quick, and I don't do a pattern with it. I just go out and I start just doing all kinds of weird shit, and my kids are like, man.
I couldn't fly a pattern with it to save my life, but it'll do loops the size of a beach ball. I mean, I put working flaps on mine. A lot of people
I did too.
Flaps. It'll turn on a dime though.
It turns. I put an Inya 35 on mine, the control line engine, and that thing, man, it's got a bark. Oh my gosh, is it loud! I'll tell you what, that engine works good.
Has it got the square plastic black Venturi?
No, it's round, and it's molded of the case. It's not one you can change. But I'll tell you what, man, does that airplane get it on? It's the ugliest thing I've got too. It's in my shop outside, but thing is, you can fly that. You don't have to worry about crashing shit, you know, because well, now I got a backup with this Mustang. I could build that Mustang, and that's one thing about those kits. They build quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a Sterling Mustang to match my yak, but I hadn't gotten around to building it yet. I think I'll
built
put an S35 on it.
Yeah, that'd be a good choice. I built a the SIG Acromaster for the 15 to 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I built it with flaps, and then I put a Magnum 23 or a 25 on it. And you should see that airplane get with it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a blast. It's just like the Yak 9, other than that Acromaster, you fly it on 52-foot lines. I float on 60s, but the 52s, oh man, is it something fun.
I got a set of 52s. I probably should try my yak on that.
Yeah, that'd really be quick on 52s, man. But yeah, that 25, I think it was a 25 that we put on there. I had to carve out half of the hardwood for the motor mount, so it had enough room to get in there. But when I got it in there, changed the bigger tank, put it on there, it's fun. It's fun to fly. I've got another kit because of it too to build after I put that one in the ground. I kept thinking that would be a good plane for somebody to learn on, but after I flew it, it's like, that's not a good trainer. A good trainer is going to be a Carl Goldberg shoestring. You know, that's a good training airplane.
Yeah.
That's pretty steady airplane there.
My name's Rusty. I'm hosting the show tonight. How you doing?
My daughter?
Yeah.
We'll get her into flying control line planes, huh? Hi.
This is Tatiana.
Hi, Tatiana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
That's Rusty there.
You need to get a chair and come up by your dad, and then you can talk to us.
Yeah.
I promise you it won't be boring. We're a bunch of clowns.
Yeah. bunch of old gray-haired clowns, but still, except for Charles and Tom, I suppose.
Yeah, when I go downstairs, sometimes I put on windy videos, and my kids go, "Oh no, Dad, don't play those."
That's what happens when I'm playing music and I put the Doors on. My kids are like, "Dad, I can't believe you even listen to that stuff." It's like, oh, that's some good stuff, man.
I had music playing in the background when I made one of my tutorials on gluing a wing into a profile, and YouTube banned it from some devices and countries because of the music in the background. I couldn't believe it, and I was talking through it the whole time. I think they finally released it, but for the first month or so, it was copyright infringement.
Yeah,
I've watched some of your tutorials, and they're very good. Yeah, you ought to keep making them videos. I mean, you do a great job.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to do some more of them.
Yeah, you do. That's fun.
Yeah,
when you guys went flying back there, you know, when you guys went flying in one of them grassy fields, it's like it went on for a long ways.
That's Fort Jackson.
Yeah, and then it had the trees around and stuff. It's like, wow, that'd be awesome to be able to have a flying field like that.
Yeah. And we always have, it's at Fort Jackson, so we always have grenades and machine gun fire noise in the background.
Yeah, I saw that.
One day they were playing Army out there, and we had soldiers with rifles running across the field and stuff.
Oh, man.
That was pretty wild. I went out to fly one day, and there was a freaking Apache helicopter parked in the middle of the field. He had had an emergency hydraulic warning come on and landed in the middle of the field.
Put your lines onto it, start going around in circles.
Yeah. I had no idea how big an Apache was until I saw it close up.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
they're big copters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to here in a couple of weeks. We're going to have an air show over here that's going to have the Blue Angels, and they're going to have an F-35 demonstration.
Really?
Yeah, which I've already seen one of those. The F-22 can do 3 times or 5 times as much as the F-35.
I'm afraid that F-35 is a dog.
Yeah, it just
I
doesn't
didn't
have
want
the
to.
wing.
I didn't want to believe it, but
Yeah,
I believe
I'm
it.
not convinced that airplane is going to work either.
Well, I'm heading to the Memphis Bell ceremony next year, May 17th.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, my great uncle was crew chief on the Memphis Bell.
That is cool.
And yeah, I got a hold of the museum a couple weeks ago and notified my great uncle's his son is still living, and so we're all going to pack up and go up there. It's a 3-day event for the unveiling the ceremony of Memphis Bell completely restored.
Wonder how much it costs to get a ride on it.
Huh?
Wonder how much it costs to get a ride on it.
I don't think they're going to fly it. It's just
I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to fly it.
They've been restoring it at the Air Force Museum.
Wasn't you there, Frank? Just a
Yeah,
bit ago?
I didn't see the Memphis Bell there because they still had it in the hangar.
Yeah, the curator said, "Hey, if you and your family want to come in anytime before the ceremony, I'd be glad to give you a personalized tour."
Oh man, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Now, what is the Memphis Bell?
My father.
What is that?
B-17.
Mitchell, isn't it?
It's a B-17.
B-17. I get all of my World War II Bs mixed up.
Yeah, it's easy.
2 motors or 4 motors?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the most
Yeah,
famous
4.
bomber that we have, even over the B-24.
There was only 2 that made 25 missions.
What was the other one?
Wow.
B-17. Oh, I can't remember the name.
I think it's
See,
second.
but after they did the Memphis Bell, they started doing 50 missions.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that's why you don't see many airplanes or whatever made it through that. So, a lot of people are almost ready to go home at 22 and 23, and then they say, "Well, we're going to up it to 50," and then people say, "I'm in," and then most of them got shot down.
It's a different time.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, May 17th, 1944 was when the Memphis Bell landed on the airfield on its 25th flight. So that's why they're having the ceremony on the 17th.
That's cool. Yeah, you can meet some relatives you don't even know.
Yep, 75 years to the day. I don't know about my great uncle. I don't know if he, if there's a little one running around or not over there in England. I don't know.
Well, you can sure get a lot of information and stuff, learn a lot about it going to that. That'd be a lot of fun.
The curator told me some of the things of all the things that have been donated so far. They're looking for artifacts, and they have a bunch of it. And the staff one day they had a meeting, and they was in the hangar where everything was, and the Memphis Bell being restored, all in the same room. And he said all of us kind of took a pause because it was the first time that all this stuff has been together since 1944.
Man.
There have been some family members donate uniforms, and the curator said there was 2 gunners, and they had diaries written. They got their diaries, and they wrote in them diaries on the way to missions and on the way back from a mission.
That'd be really neat to be able to read some of that stuff. What stuff they had to go through. Wow.
What was going through their minds as they was traveling to go to the enemy line, and it's just.
Oh, we got a new watcher. There's a Major Sheepdog name's Bill Shepard from Cincinnati. My YouTube name's Major Shepdog. Oh, wait a minute. now read it wrong. The first doesn't say major sheepdog. It says
You
major
said major shit dog. What'd you say?
Sheepdog. That's his YouTube name, Major Sheepdog. He says he's an RC guy, but he likes our conversations. I don't know how long ago he posted. Like I say, they don't put timestamps on it, but throw us a sign if you're still out there, Bill.
Yeah.
I'll type it into it.
More the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta help a family. We gotta move a family member this weekend. Isn't that a lot of fun? Anyone want to come help load up pickup trucks full of stuff?
I wish I could come all the way over there and then go to the Nats, but where I'm in Idaho, that's not going to happen for me, man. Too far.
Yeah, that'd be fun to have you there.
Oh, I'd love to do it too.
So what
Yeah,
you got
same
going
here.
on there, Frank? How's the rib job coming along?
Well, I'm done with the ribs, but when I stuck them up against the foam core, it didn't match. So I made I used that one template that he gave me.
Yeah.
So it didn't match. They're like a tad shy, like a 1/16 of an inch on the trailing edge. So I made up another rib that's exactly the size I need. I'm gonna just redo them.
Is that for your pattern to build the rest of them?
Yeah.
So you're going to book them up and then sand them all down to size?
I was just gonna trace them on just one at a time and just sand them to the edge or cut them to the edge.
So is that what you were talking about? That's got the long grain balsa.
What?
When you first came on and Sparky was here, you were talking about the grade of balsa you had, and he said,
"Oh no, that was my Geo XL wing. I cut the ribs and stuff for it, but I haven't molded the leading edge.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that's going to be a pain in the butt to mold that leading edge.
Yeah.
Like really sharp.
Yeah.
Use water and ammonia.
Okay.
Frank, hey Frank.
Huh?
Are you talking about taking a piece of balsa wood and rounding over it, bending it that sharp?
Yeah.
Water and ammonia. Really good with water.
Wally's right. Water and ammonia, or even just Windex, and soak it.
Yeah, even Windex
breaks down the lignin inside of
the thing about ammonia is when that ammonia gets into the balsa wood grain, it separates it. It actually damages the wood.
It breaks the lignin down, but it was my understanding that the lignin comes back together after the ammonia evaporates.
It will. What it does is it softens it up. It's like taking a piece of gum. It's hard, and then you get it wet, and it makes it soft. And what it'll do is all that stuff is actually sap. It's a tree sap. And so when you get it soft, then it will bend. And then when you get it to where you wrap it and it's dry, then it will get its strength back and it'll hold.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes like 2 or 3 days to dry though.
Bob Zambelli molds the lead edge of his wings, and he doesn't even put a lead edge spar in them, and claims that spar doesn't add any extra strength over on top of what the molded lead edge sheet gives it. So
I was thinking of doing a leading edge spar on this, but that leading edge is so sharp, I don't think a spar would do any good.
I don't think so either. I believe you'd be just as well off just molding it right to that.
Yeah, you just the leading edge, both your sheets will meet up. Instead of taking one sheet and bending it all the way over.
That's how my Cardinal is, I believe.
Yeah, that's
Cardinal kit.
The bastard's that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try to mold it around that first.
I did that.
You can do it. You can do it.
How
Yeah.
thick is the sheeting?
16th. I got 16th sheeting, and it dry. It bends pretty good.
Yeah.
So-
you wet it up with ammonia and it'll work. But
Yeah.
the problem you got with ammonia is the smell. But like
Yeah,
Preston
I know.
says, if you use Windex, you can, it'll still do the same thing, and you don't have the
Yeah.
smell with it.
Yeah. So those years I spent on the town, I'm gonna pitch. What's that?
Oh, talking about leading edges, sharp leading edges like that.
Yeah.
I had a guide tell me that, the sharp leading edge, my airplane will always be hunting, trying to find level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've only flew this twice, but I don't have that.
Are you flying? If you fly fast, I don't think you have the problem so much. But if you try to fly it,
Oh no, I'm turning
stunt lap.
I'm
then
turning
it's not
5.4 laps. 5.4 is my lap time.
Oh, really? Wow, that's really slow. For
Yeah,
me,
you're right in there with Charles.
Yeah.
I like to fly
Yeah, I'm
4 and
running-
5.
I'm running about 900 or 9,100 RPM, and plus I put in, my fuel mixture. I have a lot more oil, and that helps that 4.2 run on that OS that me and my buddy we fly, and that's what we've been experimenting with the fuel, and we got to set up the best that we can set up for a 4.2 run, and yeah, it just flew just beautiful. Straight flight all the way around. Good flying plane, but
That's
it never
good.
did. It never did go like this, hunting while I was going around.
Okay.
Very good.
One guy
As long as
said
it proves, that's
one
what
guy
you
said
want.
the only thing it'll do is in your maneuvers because the sharp edge creates turbulence.
But this is an ultimate biplane. It's not like a control line plane. This is radio control.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey, what? Why don't you post a question on open forum about leading edge?
I believe
down
it's
there,
been
sharp
done.
leading edge.
Well, one thing about it, Frank, when you get the first one done, you'll have your practicing, because then you can do your second week.
Yeah. I know, because both of the wings on this ultimate biplane are exactly the same, except the bottom wing has a servo mounts in it.
Well, doesn't your top wing doesn't it rake back farther than the front one?
They both do.
Both
wings.
do?
Yeah.
I was thinking the bottom one. Oh yeah, that's a lot of rake.
Yeah. See, that's
Yep.
they're both identical on that. Well, I think I'm gonna get off.
Are both wings identical then?
Yeah, they're both identical.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah. So it'll be easy to once I generate the first one to get the second one. It'll be easy. The only thing is I only have one cradle and one set of leading edge mold bucks, so it's gonna be a while before I get the other wing built.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna get off here. I gotta go do some stuff before I hit the sack. So you guys
All right.
take it easy.
All right.
Yep.
Take it easy.
Great. Have a good
Talk to you
week.
later.
We'll
All right,
see
you
you
too.
Monday night.
All right. See you.
Hey Tom, your P40, is that have a 46 or a 25 OS?
I got a 40 on it. OSLA 40.
LA 40. Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
that's a good run.
Yeah, I got a 46 if I needed it, but I don't think I need it.
All right.
42.
Yeah,
So what-
my son's got a LA
With-
46 and he's smoothie, and that thing handles really good with that 46 in it.
So what fuel are you using in your 46? What fuel?
Fuel, we're using 15% with 20% castor oil.
All
We're not
cash?
using, yeah, it's all castor oil on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been running mostly castrals because I got so many Fox engines. Now, and a lot of people I know are running half and half, half synthetic, half castrol. But I've pretty much just been staying with the castrol. It's more of a mess, but those engines seem to really like that Castrol, and all the instructions say that's what you need to run, other than the fact that it says that we could be running 30% nitro in them, which is way hotter than what I ever want to run.
Way high.
Yeah, but the instructions say that's what to run in them.
Yeah, I use 10% nitro. I use Sig Champion, and it's already mixed 20% Castrol and synthetic, and I add 8 ounces of Benol to that gallon to get me 25%.
Wow. Okay.
So
that's a lot of oil, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So
it is.
Yeah, 8 ounces, and these OSs, man. Yeah, it's a mess to clean up on your plane, but I always wipe my plane down anyway, you know.
Yeah, me too. But
Right.
you got more cleanup with all that oil, but that's that's just what you do.
Right. But we get, and then we went to a 762 number. That's if you wanted to order it from OS, that's the muffler we use. It's off of a 25, and I think it's off of a 25 ABC engine, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'd have to ask my flying buddy.
So it's got the same.
And you put the combos together with that with that, and you really get a really good 4.2 run with them.
What's that muffler number again?
Yeah, I want to write that down.
732?
762.
That's one of my favorite mufflers too. Like I was saying earlier, I always cut the stinger off and hog it out to about 3/8 of an inch in the back. And I also put them up against my grinder and grind a whole muffler down eggshell thin too. I've done that on some of them.
The reason why we don't mess with the mufflers, because that's why we use it, is because of the stinger, the diameter of the outlet of there.
If that's what's working for you, then
it adds back pressure. Put more castor oil in the gallon, and use APC prop.
Okay.
Can't use a wooden prop. Can't use any other prop. We've tried them all, and the APC and them 3 combinations work for us anyway. For a good
works with that engine.
That works definitely.
Now that muffler, does it have the cone inside there? Do you still have the cone?
No, it's all one piece. It's non-adjustable. It's got the it comes out, the cone comes out the back of it, and it's centered.
It doesn't have a restrictor in it though.
It's a one-piece muffler.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hollow. There's nothing inside of it.
Okay.
The inside of it's hollow.
Okay, I was curious about that. Thanks.
So the outlet of the pipe is what we're concerned with.
Okay.
It does something to the back pressure.
I might have a 762 muffler in my engine drawer. I might see if I can find one.
So
I know I have a lot of the 732s, but I might have a 762. And they're pretty popular on eBay also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did that muffler do for you?
It's in combination with the castor oil and the APC prop. This engine has a really good 4.2 engine. And I mean, when you're sitting there at level flap or level flight, I mean, it's constant 4-stroke, and it's just wah. It's real low pitched, and it sounds like it's rich, but it's not. And as soon as you go into the maneuver, you can hear that baby go into a 2-stroke, and you get out of the maneuver and back to the wah, going around again.
Wow, that's nice.
So you're not running any pressure on your fuel?
Yeah, it's Uniflow.
Oh, you are running Uniflow, and it gets a good 2.4 even with Uniflow.
Yep. You can do it on a clunk tank too. It works on a clunk tank, because one of my planes, I had a clunk tank I made.
I'll have to try it.
Is that muffler pressure or no muffler pressure?
That's muffler pressure.
Muffler pressure, okay.
Yep. Sometimes when we have days that are real hot and humid, sometimes your engines will run away with you as you're flying around. And we sometimes experience that on real hot, humid days. And sometimes we experiment by taking the pressure off of the muffler, you know, and sometimes that helps out. Another thing, yeah, that's the only thing that we ain't got down pat yet is real hot, humid days. And then you'll notice everybody in the event, they're having engine run problems too, you know,
Right.
and weather getting like that.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
So I got some new glow plugs for my little Norvell the other day, Rusty.
Oh,
for
yeah.
for some backup spark plugs, but that OS, or I mean the little cocks, the regular cocks.
That's what I use on those too.
So do you, your little cocks glow plug, you know, you were saying that you run that on there to break it in, but do you just run them on there for just all the time?
No, just for the first crank, because they're hard to start the first time with that tight pinch, and that's why I also use a starter spring too. But it'll crank a lot easier the first time if you put one of the low compression Cox heads on it.
And then after you get it broke in, after you run it just like one time, or
Yeah,
through the
just
whole...
after that first crank, once you
Okay.
get it running, then put the Norvell head back on.
Okay, I got you. I'll have to do that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 backups the other day.
Those you can buy from Merlin, the clamp ring and the same type plug. That's what I use on my Cox engines too. You just have to stack about between 3 and 5 head washers in because the compression is too high, but they run great on the Coxes if you do that.
Okay.
That's what I do on all of my TDs.
Good to know.
Now, you said you had Coxes. Do you still have Coxes like TDs?
Yeah. Yeah, most of mine are the, like the, what do you call it? The golden bees and the black ones, the black widows and stuff like that. I got a whole bunch of them. I got
reed valve engines.
Yeah, they're all reed valves.
Yeah, those are a pain in the ass because they're so subject to air leaks and erratic runs. But
they are. They're a bitch. You know? When you get one running right, they're really neat. But yeah, I might have to rebuild it 3 times to get it to where it'll run right. You know. And
stick to 35% nitro in them too. 25 to 35 runs best.
Yeah, I've got some 30 I've been running in them.
Yeah.
In fact, it came from a guy in Texas that mixes it straight for those Cox engines.
Now, if you've got any medallions, which is a front rotary valve intake, those are the most user-friendly engines Cox made, and they run beautifully. And then on up for performance, there's the TD 049 and 051. So those also, but they don't draw fuel well. You are better off using pressure with them, either from a bladder or from backplate pressure.
Yeah, I was watching your one video where you guys were doing your pressure tanks, you know, out of your out of the tubing that you did. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I made those 2 bladder tutorials. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I wish I had made that tutorial a little later in my experience with it, because I made it more complicated than it needed to be. But still, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I followed along. I thought you did a great job.
Yeah, and you see how easy it is to crank. Once you know where your needle setting is, leave that needle alone. You know, count the turns, know where it is. Then every time you fly it, after flying it, take it home, blow everything out, all the orifices with brake parts cleaner. Make sure you put that needle back to the same setting, and it's crank and go. First shot every time.
Now, these guys that fly combat do the same kind of deal with pressure bladders?
Exactly.
Same kind of
That's
deal.
who I learned it from.
So I was thinking, you know, as soon as you put your pressure on there, you'd want your needle valve closed. and then when you start cranking on it, you open your needle valve, to get your gas flow. But where you did it seemed to make it more easy and seemed to
with
work
those
just fine.
plastic hemostats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just crank it with a prime. Once it's running on the prime, unclip the hemostats, and you're off to the races.
You're off the races.
Literally.
I've never done an engine with a bladder like that. I've never done it.
I was hard-headed. I shied away from it for the longest time, thinking it was going to be difficult, but it's neither difficult to make nor is it difficult to run. You just got to get the hang of it, and that's all. Well, and they also last a lot longer than I led you to believe in the video. I found out I can use the same bladder for a month or more. It's just that it gets a little weaker, so you have to open the needle a little more as it ages, because the pressure reduces, but still works.
Changes the pressure. Yeah, I was thinking, man, you'd have to have at least half a dozen of them every time you go, to where you don't have to do that though.
Yeah, they run for a long time. Yeah, and the fuel pressure is constant from the beginning to the very end of the run, except that in the last couple of laps it goes rich. And the nicest thing about a bladder is you can't kill an engine with an accidental lean run, because with the fuel pressure steady all the time, if the engine overheats and starts to seize and slows down, the inrushing fuel cools it, because it's like turning it into a refrigerator, so it speeds back up until it overheats again. So if you've got an engine that's surging up and down and up and down, you just got it set too lean. Just rich it up a little bit more, and it won't overheat, surge, slow down, cool off, speed back up, and go through that cycle for the whole run. So you can't. I mean, it's self-limiting, self-protected. It's like its own little refrigerator.
Because I know some guys. Well, it's been years ago. Remember when they came out with 35 size? What was it? The ring bats or something like that? Rats. They were just them long wings that they made for combat. There's nothing to them, and they put the tanks in the wing.
That's right.
I guess you'd have to have that to where you could put a new one in and out.
Yeah, because the tube's only a 1/4 inch wide, and about about that long will hold more than an ounce. So yeah, you just have a little hole in a compartment right behind the lead edge of the wing, and you just slip it in, and it expands when you fill it up inside that compartment. You just want to make sure that the compartment's big enough that it doesn't press on the bladder and give it a false pressure, because that'll make your run erratic. If you've got too much false pressure, you want that outside of it to be free, without any restriction. But it fits right in that lead edge of the wing, and if it explodes, it's in a little container, so it doesn't hurt anything. Yeah,
I was wondering how they did that for a long time, but yeah, if you know how to do it, it's not that big a deal. It's just you got to have some extras, so if you blow one, you can put a new one in there.
Yeah, you do, but you can swap one out in about 5 seconds if you've got a spare one. Just stick it in the compartment, plug it into the fuel line. You don't even have to tie it off to the fuel line, because oddly enough, the pressure if you understand fluid dynamics, which I don't especially, but it won't blow the fuel line off of it like you would think it would.
Well, the thing was interesting too was the way he was talking about that rubber getting a memory,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It would do that.
You want to train it.
You got to train it
front the first time you use it. So I just pump it up with air, leave it for a few minutes, and every time from then on, even on my planes now, I fill it from the tail. I've just got a one-way valve stuck in the tail of it. A little what's the name of that? Well, I'll come back and tell you in a minute. But just a little check valve, and so I stuff the syringe up its butt and fill it up, and it still fills from the front to the back.
Right
And
on.
that's how my baby flight streaks are.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool watching that stuff. I mean, you can always learn something on YouTube.
Yeah,
That's where I go when I want to know how to do something.
Me too. It's like, wow, that was pretty cool, man.
Hey guys, I'm gonna sign off. Spend time with my wife and kid. So
Oh, we enjoyed it.
All right.
I'm hoping you'd sign in with us one of these nights.
Yeah.
I try to. Thanks, you guys. I look forward to talking to you guys again. All right.
All right,
Right
man.
on.
Take
We'll
it
see
easy.
you.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, that was pretty fun watching those videos.
I had a lot of fun with half A's. I don't do it enough anymore. I've got just one that's ready to pick up and go, and that's the Little Satan. But my two baby flight streaks, one of them's got a worn out TD-051, and it sags whenever you go inverted, and it's got no compression, so I need to just put a new cylinder and piston on it. And the Norvell on my other baby flight streak has gotten to where the engine gets hot and binds with the drive plate, and it sags and then eventually quits. So I just need to take it off and mill it down a little bit, put it back together. But if I do that, then I'd have three that are ready to pick up and go anytime. I'm just lazy and hadn't gotten around to it. I'm always wrecking stuff and having to repair it in time to fly at a contest or something.
So, can you get Cox parts out of Canada? You know where that's.
Yeah,
They're doing
coxengines.ca. Coxengines.ca.
So
It's Cox
you
International,
could
which is
order
their-
a 051 cylinder and piston for that engine and be good to go.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, his name's Bernie, and
Bernie.
he's a great guy. I mean, he is customer first all the way. He bought almost all of Cox's old inventory, and he's manufacturing what he can and selling off the rest. So he ought to be going for a few more years.
I wish they'd come up and make them 110s or the 10s and the 20s. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people wish that. There's another guy called X Model Engines. His name is Matt, and he's in the USA, and he and Bernie work together cooperatively. And Matt, whatever Bernie doesn't sell, Matt sells. Whatever Matt doesn't sell, Bernie sells. So
Cool.
X Model Engines and Cox International are your two sources.
But they're not actually manufacturing anything other than their little engines. Like they're not doing the 09s and the 15s, you know?
No, they're pretty much sourcing out estate sales and wherever they can pick stuff up. They might have some things made like, head shims and stuff like that, but they don't sell enough of it to justify having somebody tool up to make molds and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I was thinking they were still doing the 049s because looks like they got a lot of different stuff going for 049s.
Yeah, they do. And they also, unlike Estes, which almost ruined Cox's reputation, they hand fit pistons and cylinders and see which ones feel like a good match. And then when you buy one from them, you know that it's been hand fit.
So, are you going to build you another Cardinal? Looks like you got a kit behind you.
Yeah, that's it. Right back there.
Yeah. Yeah, my son wants to get one of those. My son, though, doesn't build. He's too busy. He'd get an ARF.
Well, it's going to take me a long time to get that one built. Originally, I started looking for an ARC, almost ready to cover. But they didn't sell them anymore, and so I went ahead and bought the kit. And my only thing about buying a kit is that I don't have a lot of stamina for standing on the shop floor and my hands are all locked up. This is the position they live in, and I can bend them in, but that's as far as I can bend them out. Not a lot of feeling, so I have a hard time building, and so I'm slow, and so it's going to take me months. And as soon as I got the new kit, my flying buddy Wayne says, "Guess what I found under my bed?" He had an art cardinal under his dadgum bed at home. So anyway,
you got to talk him out of it.
I'm looking forward to building the kit. It's got great pair of blueprints that came with it. I'm going to take them down to Staples and have them copied so I can cut parts out of them without destroying them. And I'm gonna tool up the shop for a build. I've got to clean up, level my table, and get all the twister repair stuff out of the way, and you know, kind of get back in the mood for it. But that's what I'm going to start doing soon here.
Well, that'd be a great winter project. You don't have to get in no hurry. And
I'd like to think I could fly it in October at the contests, but I don't think ain't no way I'm gonna have that plane flying by October.
No, I got some, you know, coming up for this winter. I've already got my plans and everything. The only thing I'm missing is paint.
I want to build my Sterling Mustang. That was supposed to be this winter's build, but I spent all damn winter fixing my twister wing. So that's the way it goes.
I got
well, one thing about
doing something.
That gives you another airplane in the pile to build. So
yeah,
as long as we don't run out of airplanes to build.
My trouble is running out of airplanes to fly. You ought to see my boneyard. I got a room full of wrecked planes. I wreck everything I built sooner or later. So, you know, it's not like I got a bunch of planes hanging up waiting to go.
Yeah, I got
not good pattern planes anyway. I got sport flyers, you know, my shoestring and Yak 9 and stuff like that. But my pattern planes always seem to be at a shortage on. I flew a borrowed plane this spring and brought home trophies at both contests, so did okay considering. I didn't think I was going to be able to fly physically, but it turned out I got better all of a sudden and was able to. So I'm hoping my hip's going to quit hurting and I can get out and fly again. That's my latest pain of the day, pain of the week. So
yeah, pains.
Getting old sucks, I tell you what.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Rusty, I was looking. I got my whole build on that P40, and I thought I had a picture, and I don't have a picture of it.
Really?
Of the landing gear. I don't believe it. I'd look and look and look, and I'm like, really? Yeah, so I don't have that.
I'm gonna rip into the Magnum and see what it looks like. That's the only plane I've ever had that had wing mounted gear.
I bought a Lost Foam Caprice off of Bob Hunt last year at the Nats. Video with it. Man, I tell you, that was well worth the money on that video. I like how he does things, how he does video.
Yeah.
There's a guy on eBay that sells plans, and you get on there and click on a few of them. You can usually see the prints that they have for those, and you know, you can full size those, and it usually gives you a pretty good view of some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's another option.
Yeah. All I need is a picture and I can go from there. So I'm pretty good at improvising.
Yeah. Well, that Magnum print will show you about anything you need to know there.
Yeah. I might even be able to substitute the bent gear and the parts that came out of it. I'll have to see if it'll fit up. Might make it more convenient.
The Magnum's got a weird angle on their gear coming down, you know, to your wheel.
Yeah.
And when I built mine, because I like I say, I built my extras with no wheel pants. I just built that strut to where it comes down straight. It gives you a little bit wider wheelbase, you know, from wheel to wheel. But that was easier than trying to duplicate that angle and all that crap. So
Yeah.
that's the way my Magnum is that I fly now is that way.
What engine are you flying in that?
I've got a Fox 60. It's the Eagle 60. It's the old one. They made 59s and then they went to 60s, and them 60s that they built were really good engines.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure about the new ones I've got, because I've got the new Type 60 and the 74 that you can change the exhaust, you know, whatever, you know, left or right or back. I plan on putting the 74 where it goes through the back and building a tunnel on one of my airplanes. In fact, I'm going to do that on my new Strega kit, is I'm going to build a tunnel on that. But the biggest thing is going from that rectangle manifold into a round, you know, like 5/8 round pipe to where it'll match up with the pipe, you know, that goes underneath
Yeah, that's a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, that'll, you know, thing is, I've got like 3 or 4 of those exhaust pipes that I can cut one up and cut it and, you know, bend it and, you know, heat it up and everything. And, you know, I don't know if that stuff will bend without breaking it. I don't know. I just, you know, take some experimenting to where it'll accept, you know, the round.
If it's magnesium and it's aluminum, it ain't gonna heat up and bend.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's gonna end up breaking. So
yeah, it won't do it.
Cut the muffler off and then drill a hole in the center of it, and then put my pipe in there and then do some welding around there to fill it up. So I'm hoping TIG will take to it. If TIG will take to it, I'll be in good shape. Then I can, you know, go from there into my tune pipe. So yeah, I got some experimenting to do this winter to see what it's going to take to get that to work. Because I got this 60 here, but I want to put that in a different, you know, I want to put that in a Magnum. This big wing that's on this Strega kit, you know, it's you know, over 700 square inches. That's big enough you can use a 75, like you know, anything from 65 to, well, like Charles, he's got an 81 in his. You know, any of them size engines work that airplane pretty good with that big wing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a next winter project is what that's going to be. Because I want to deck that out to look like the real airplane.
Well, guys, let's close her up. It's 12:30 here, so.
Yeah, man, I'm starting to be eyed.
All right,
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, we'll talk to y'all Monday. Look forward to it.
Sounds great.
Yep. You guys have a good weekend.
Yep. Have a good weekend, guys. We'll
Yeah,
see you later.
Night. All right. Well, don't forget to like us and subscribe to us, and tight lines, fair winds, and see you next time. Good night.
Good night.